Hello, hello. Hey, Kevin. Happy Monday. I took Friday off, so I have not streamed since Wednesday of last week. And yeah, today's going to be all over the place. Happy Monday. Thanks for the resub. Yeah, happy 9 months. Um, yeah, let's start with how I always start. Let's go to tenants. I feel like there are really only two right now, so this doesn't take me a very long time. And it's still the stuff that I value. So sustainability. I took a day off last week. Just because I felt like I've been doing the same kind of thing for a while with no push for more, i.e. the number of new people seeing the demo died down after I stopped making YouTube videos. The prep for next fest is important. Hey, Monadic Fine. Thank you too for the resub. I don't even have chat on my screen right now. 62 months, man. These are some high numbers. Yeah, I appreciate it. Where did that even just go that I was working on? Here it is. Okay, yeah. Prep for next fest is important. Yeah, I'm going to use today as a test for whether that day off worked. I put that in quotes. Bricklink. Oh, I want to talk about this a little bit more, I guess. So I think there's a time in pretty much any project when you're starting it out where it's not possible for you to show other people. Like you just don't have enough of a product yet. And especially with games, it's like imagine what is the first 2 days of Skeleseller ever look like? But more realistically, what does the first like 2 or 3 months into an 18-month long project look like? You can probably get a playable demo in that time. But is it going to be fun? Is it going to be fleshed out? And if you look at the past streams and what we had at 2 or 3 months, I mean, it wasn't super fun. And that's fine. But at some point, I think knowing what you're making is desired by people is important. And I don't just mean it in terms of product market fit. I mean it in terms of what is delighting people about your product or your game that you're making. And we've had a decent amount of interest. I mentioned we're at like something like 1,750 wish list. Like people have played the game and everything. But now there's no push externally from like, oh hey, when are you going to release this game? I'm really looking forward to it. Or at least not much. There's like probably one person per week who's asking about this. And we did just have someone join Discord and be like, oh, hey, when's this game coming out? I had a lot of fun. I maxed out everything. Quick oh hi before starting. I did that this morning. I played the daily puzzles and they all took me way longer than normal, although I woke up a little earlier than I normally do. So we'll find out as I'm waking up. Yeah, anyway, Next Fest is going to serve as that push. I would be very disappointed if Next Fest got me like fewer than, let's say, 200 wish lists. I'm kind of hoping it's like 1,000 plus or that it generates some hype because otherwise I don't know what we're going to do exactly. I feel like the problem would become a marketing problem. Maybe I should just write that down because that is probably what we'd conclude from this. Yeah. And then June, if Next Fest results in happy players, but not enough of them, then we know that we have a marketing problem and I should devote more time per week to marketing. Yeah, I think that's the right conclusion. And if it doesn't result in happy players, then it obviously means the game is at fault. Because like I think Steam does a good enough job at finding the right audience that you don't have to be like, well, we got 500 people, but none of them like the game. Maybe it's just the wrong 500 people. It's like probably that's not going to be the case. Anyway, bricklaying. This has been going great. I'm still tackling what's most important, and the intro I think turned out well. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Okay, so we're done with this stuff. First thing is I wanted to plan a new trailer. There's one problem with making a trailer right now, which is that we still have these blank spots in the game, and I don't really want those to show in the trailer. How do I turn this off? There we go. Okay, yeah. So if we just zoom out here, this stuff, like you can see these blank spots here. They don't have to show in the trailer. We could always just zoom in on a thing you've already unlocked or show you unlocking this thing. Oh yeah, the intro's done. Let me show it to you really fast. but I need to turn the music back on for this. All right, check this out. Oh wait. I have some debug code saying that the intro takes 20 seconds to fade between one and the other thing. Hang on a second. Okay, there we go. Let me show that again. Hang on. Restarting. Okay, let me turn this stuff back on. So yeah, so there's the intro, and then it leads into your skeleton walking into here, saying, hey, I've got the land. Now I want to get a guild, and then you start playing the game, right? So I'm pretty happy with that. I think it's going well. Hey, Adam. Hey, Zap. And I'm gonna book some more user research sessions to see how people are interacting with it. Like, yeah, how do they take this? Do they like it? We have a friend in town, and I asked him, hey, do you wanna help out? He said, yeah, sure. He just doesn't know if he can do it now or if he's got to wait until he's no longer in town and does it virtually. So let's see, plan the new trailer. Yeah, I wrote a document for this. Let me see if I can find it really fast. Drive trailer. We're gonna do a lot of just random stuff today. So like planning the trailer is another random item we have to do. All right, biggest takeaways. It wasn't too bad. Took one normal work day to make the demo. I should say to make the initial trailer for the early demo. Don't think the trailer would benefit from voice acting. Slowly panning the camera is easy enough to do manually. Practically all shots should have some kind of movement. Showing multiple copies of something would be nice. What did I mean? Oh. Oh, I think I meant e.g. like use DaVinci to show 3 copies of the UI. Yeah, something like that. According to this, we should show UI and gameplay. Settings changes. Turn music off. Make sure sound effects are on. Probably turned way up. Choose show loot and battle. Full screen the game. Oh, wait a second. Don't I have a green dot that shows up when I do that? Does the original trailer have a green dot at the upper right? It does. Oh my God. Look at that. I mean, maybe you can't see it all that well, but if I zoom in. Yeah, there's a green dot up there. I wonder how to turn that off. Let's look that up. Turn off green dot when recording screen. No way to disable it. Designed to prevent people from attempting to covertly record others' activities. That's from 2011. Wonder if there's anything that talks about this from more recently. Green dot next to control center. What? Green dot on menu bar after installing Sonoma. Open photo booth, full screen it, and exit full screen. Huh. You can't just turn this off though? Huh. Pressing the upper right does not show up in a screenshot. It is not a single pixel. Display time does not update. System settings. Hey, Poyard. Welcome in. I'm so surprised that no one's saying like, here's how to turn this off. Click Control Center, open Control Center. Menu bar indicates the microphone is in use. Purple indicates a camera is in use. Been hooked on Ohio ever since you mentioned it last week. Oh man. Well, have you ever tried nonograms or Picross? Because I was hooked on those for a very long time. I keep coming back to these in various points in my life. But if you like Oh Hi, this is very similar in that you never have to guess. There are very easy to understand rules of how to solve this stuff. And the only real thinking you have to do is a lot of counting. It says for external displays. Not sure if it'll work for you. Yeah, but there's no way to just turn this off. Like the OS doesn't give... What is this? Is someone sharing a video? No, this has to be a screenshot. I was going to say there's a cursor on a Game Gear. I'm like, why does someone have... and now I see this too, Raspberry Pi. It must be like a Raspberry Pi powered Game Gear or something like that. Check the link I shared. Oh, I didn't even see the link you shared. Sorry. Hide privacy indicators. Turn off privacy indicators for external displays. To hide privacy indicators, the orange and green dots. Do I have it on my other? Yeah, I have it on the other monitor too. Menu bar to show this stuff is in use. Enter this command. Suppress SW camera indication on external displays. From the utilities menu, choose terminal. Enter this. Feature is only available in recovery OS. Started in recovery mode. Huh. Okay. Well, I guess we need to run this tomorrow then. I'll write that down. Tuesday, get rid of the green dot and write a note if this worked. Okay, well, anyway, there's that. What else do we have here? Coding changes, change zoom levels to integers, having battles start immediately was nice, making signs auto build is nice. Hide debug button in the skill tree. Turn up, man, there's a lot of changes. Okay, what's the storyboard of the trailer? What do we do in the current trailer? How about we just watch the current trailer and just write it down? Maybe give this a try. Turn off the recording indicator on the primary display and external display is not in full screen. You may not need this. Just follow these steps. Okay, I'll try that. I don't like the idea of downloading something for this, but I'll write this down at least. Could try this if that doesn't work. Now I'll just make it only. All right. So we're going to write down what happens in this trailer. Okay, so start a town. Show a battle. I guess hire adventurers to battle. Relaxed. Idle light gameplay. Sell loot from battle. Use gold to build your town. Shows a tavern. Gather items for quests. Defeat strong enemies to level up. And the game has changed so much. Experiment with adventurer skills. And I think there's the final shot of like get rich. Yeah, and get rich. Shows everything. And finally coming soon at the end. AM2. I did have a good weekend. Did you? Okay, so here's our like current trailer storyboard. And if we were to kind of sum this up, it's it shows you the overall gameplay loop, I guess. Like we're not telling the story, not telling the story of how this came to be. Maybe we should add an intro trailer as well about how you became a skeleton. Busy but good, great weather. Built the first 3 planter boxes. Nice, nice, nice. Sounds like life is getting back to normal over there, which I'm happy to hear. Hey, Thomas. Happy Monday. So I like this idea. One of the things that they recommend when making the trailers is show the actual UI and show real gameplay. I think showing gameplay is probably a little confusing for Skeleseller because it doesn't look like I'm playing the game. I guess we should show things like dragging items or something. Or forming a party. Maybe we could show dragging items, forming a party, etc. We could also, remember, this is just another demo trailer. This is not supposed to be the final thing, but a lot of people will probably judge the game based on this. I do want to keep it short as well. But I wonder, hang on one sec. Cat's meowing outside my door. Doing good enough? Doing enough with my left hand? In the past 10 days, I've used my table saw, hammer drill, circular saw. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. Hi, Abby. Yeah, so lengthwise, this was 47 seconds. Hi, cat. Do you want to sit down? Good cat. Good cat. Good cat. Okay, yeah. Make yourself comfortable. I put the footrest here, so hopefully won't hurt as much. she's, I mean, I know you can see the top of her little head here, but she's resting her head on my arm and trying to sleep now. How can you code? I mean, it's usually very hard, and it usually affects my posture a lot too. But we'll see. Okay, so lengthwise, I think this is fine. I wonder, we could show you feeding the slime, harvesting crops. All right, so what do we have here? Start a town, hire adventurers to battle, relaxed idolite gameplay, sell loot, use gold to build your town. Maybe instead of doing this, gather items for quests, we could show something like the farm. Let's cut out of these changes that I have here. This and this. She codes for me. She seriously just jumped into my lap and is like trying to sleep now. What a good cat. What tiling manager do I use? Hey, Stark. I don't use a tiling manager. I use something called a rectangle, which maybe is what you're talking about when you're talking about a tiling manager. But I think this is now built into the OS. Yeah, anyway, rectangle is probably the answer. I think I have, oh, I have it in programs. Yeah, it's in there. It's this program here, rectangle app. And I just use the keyboard shortcuts for it. Just want to know what to do in game. Yeah. Yeah, so I think this style of trailer is good. I just wonder, like, this I think is good. This I think is good. This is probably still good. This is probably still good. Then maybe things change a bit. Yeah, so use gold to build your town. How do we show this? I guess we can show you maybe building the farm. We click this and click build. And then we could say something like, so we could do this. We could say something like, use gold to build your town, build the farm, and then something like discover. No, I don't think we want to talk about discovering stuff, right? What else do we have here? Defeat strong enemies, level up, experiment with adventure skills. Well, what do we have? I guess farm and fishing is for sludge, which is for leveling. Then we have the enchanter for casting spells. And we have the tavern for recruiting other skeletons. Gold to build your town. I mean, we could show building a bunch of different things. I kind of like, actually, I like the idea of maybe showing off some of the perks you can get. I can't, so. Maybe that is a part we should include in here. Things we may want to include. Use gold to unlock perks. So maybe it's like spend gold to build your town, or spend it on perks. Spelled. I am not typing correctly. Salute. Okay, so to build your town, I guess we could build the town hall here. And then spend it on perks. Show the perk screen. I can't access the mouse anymore. The cat's taking over my arm. I need to use the keyboard. So what I was thinking is we could show you building the farm. The problem is the farm doesn't really look like a farm at first because it's covered in rocks. Although we could bypass that. We could just have it build immediately and like start with crops, even though that's not really how the game works. And then when we show you using perks, we could, well, what's the most visible of the perks? I mean, I guess clearing rocks is pretty visible. We could build the farm and then spend our thing on that. And I could just have it start with the extractor lever so that things get planted automatically. I don't know if that's a good idea, though. Also, there's a flower on top of the concrete there. How did that get there? Fishing pond. I mean, maybe the enchanter is a good thing to show off. Yeah, probably. Let's go take a look at that. So what if we build the enchanter's den? I mean, this looks fun. Even if you don't know what this does, it's very colorful and nice. You know, you could cast a spell. Oh, poor cat is going to try to sleep. I'm going to keep jostling my arm because I'm trying to do something here. Build the town hall, build the farm, build the enchanter. It's got to pretty much be one of those things. Or build the tavern, I guess. If it's going to be the tavern, though, then we need to probably show off quests. I don't want people to have to read this in the trailer. We just show this and then show a bunch of people dropping these off. I don't think that's that exciting. The enchanter. Let me think about this. What can we show off with the enchanter that's the most visible thing? I mean, I guess this autocast thing puts little gems at the bottom. I guess there's also things like the warehouse. Although that'd be hard to communicate in the game. Yeah, none of these other ones are all that interesting in terms of what they do. So spend gold to build your town. Or spend it on perks. Or spend it on perks. For the perk screen. And choose one of the perks. I mean, I guess we could do something like we build this. So we show this on the screen for a little bit. And then, I don't know, maybe we click one of the spells to cast it. And then we show the perks menu here. And we have enough money to unlock one of these. So the defeat strong enemies, experiment with adventure skills. The weird thing is, I don't think we can communicate how you level up because you do it via wisdom sludge, which we need to show enough of how farming works, I guess, for that. Yeah, so we need some way. But yeah, I think it's too much to communicate. Like, oh, get this stuff so that you can level up. We could just indicate that you can level up. We could just allow you to click this button, or not allow you to, but just click it inside the trailer. Click this, and then maybe show a character that's already got a bunch of skills and a bunch of points, and we're like just applying them. Yeah, that's maybe not bad. So it could just be fight strong enemies. Fight strong enemies. And what does this even do for you? It unlocks new buildings. Wouldn't show off perks. Menus aren't super exciting. Battle map looks cool. Yeah, maybe we say defeat strong enemies to unlock new location. Defeat strong enemies to... Well, you also unlock new locations just by battling regularly. Like, I don't think the boss battles are probably super interesting to show off. Yeah, so fine. Spend gold to build your town. Maybe we show a couple of buildings being built. And then we need to show the battle map. We could say like unlock new locations and fight powerful enemies. Unlock new locations. Battling. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Level up. Like level up and try out different skills. And get rich. Yeah, so something like that. So we'd have the same first 4 parts of this. That's all still important to have. Then I guess the 5th thing is pretty similar too. But instead of gather items and defeat strong enemies, unlock new locations. We're talking about unlocking new locations. So we'd show off the battle map. And maybe we start a fight there. I don't know. Okay, well, anyway, something like this. I'll probably finalize this tomorrow because I want to finish the trailer tomorrow that I do for this because I think it's pretty important. Things that may be good to have would be showing farming. Actually, I guess in the get rich part, we could show all of the extra stuff. Yeah, I think this is probably good. I may want to include battles against bosses or show rare items or something like that. Tap into what people are actually playing this game for. Next Fest trailer. Yeah. All right, there. Cool. All right, figure out how to capture the battles. Probably just zoom in through the game. Huge content scaling, custom code to make it render well. Then edit stuff together in DaVinci. Yeah, I think that's good. I don't think we need to do anything special there. So, oh god, I still can't scroll. Where did I write about battling? Transition the end scene by animating in a bunch of gold coins falling. Make unusual friends along the way and show the garbage slime. I do kind of like that. Could say make unusual friends along the way. Show the garbage slime. I don't even think I wrote this down about battles. No. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. Okay. When it comes to battling, zoom in through the game so that everything looks crisp. Set the content scale to something very large. add custom code to make it render well, i.e. we need to scale up our sub viewport container by 4x or 8x and then edit in DaVinci rather than trying to edit a transition in DaVinci. Say I eat garbage. That they do. And yeah, try not to show the blank spots of land. I don't think that'll be too hard to do, I guess. All right, next up, how do we add GIFs and videos to the Steam page? So let's go take a look at this. Because I'm actually not certain, is it a video or does it have to be a GIF? And this shouldn't be that hard to figure out, so let's go take a look. I'm waiting for this thing to load. Okay, it just loaded. Now we go to edit store page. Where's the description of the game? There it is. Okay, is this a confidential page? Yeah. But it says use the space to describe your game. You can include images by uploading custom images. You can even include short animated GIFs. If you do, focus on highlighting specific gameplay mechanics. All right, yeah, so they've got to be GIFs, I guess. Hey, Grace, it's going pretty well. Just getting started. As you can see, there's a little cat head right here. She's trying to sleep on my arm. And it's causing me to sit in a weird position and not be able to use my mouse. So I'm using the keyboard for everything right now. All right, so yeah, they're just GIFs. And I wonder how I would generate these. I'm sure DaVinci can. DaVinci generate GIF. How to make GIFs. Render setting, custom export. There's probably some like online tool for converting videos too. So I shouldn't worry about this too much. I'm sure I can figure something out. I guess what video we use is going to be the important part. Alternatively, maybe we can use Cap for that. Let's see. You deserve it. Cap is requesting to bypass the system private window picker and directly access screen and audio. Yeah, allow. Okay, so now we click this and we record something. I don't know, like this. We need to figure out the dimensions for this too. Then I just scroll this a little bit and then hit stop. All right, so what do we export as? Yeah, GIF. Yeah, this has a way of exporting GIFs. Now we can trim it too. So I think we can just use that. What dimension should they be though? GIFski? Okay, I'll write that down. Hey, Leftist, thank you very much. When it comes to GIFs, try this out. And what are the dimensions? Steam Store GIF dimensions? When creating a GIF, consider the following sizes. 231 by 87. I don't know what it's talking about there. Hey, who cares? Happy half year. Howdy, howdy. Thank you for the resub. Is it this? Screenshots. Maybe it can be any size. But it's going to get limited by width at some point. Consider this one. What a sick kickflip. Somebody alert Tony Hawk about this. Yeah, I don't know where they have this information here. Screenshots. They don't mention GIFs anywhere. Hey, Lammy. Well, let's go to just random Steam pages and see what they do. Terraria, Steam. Wait, that's it? I guess they don't need a large description when they're already like a top selling game, but they literally have what, like 4 paragraphs and then a bulleted list? No images whatsoever. What about Stardew? Okay, there's a static image here. But what do they use as the... Oh, there we go. What do they use as the size for this? 600 by 105. Aspect ratio 40 by 7. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be or just that's what this one in particular is. Do they have any other ones there? That's it? Wow. Well, I don't know how to find a game that has these. Risk of Rain 2. Oh, nice. They've got one. All right, what's the size of this? .616 by 347. Brought a bunch of ticks home last night. I'm paranoid I missed some, so that's fun. Oh man, that sucks. Yeah, my little cat is sleeping right here. She's taken over my arm. So 616 by 347. What about the other ones they use on this page? I'm guessing they've got the same size for all of these. Yeah. They do. Whoa, 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 what's that? Intrinsic size 643 by 362. I don't know what that even means. I mean, I guess we could just try to figure this out, right? Just do this. It's rendering at, yeah, 620-ish pixels, which is a, oh wait, no, 620-ish because that's the actual size of the thing, right? And how many of those do they include? Yeah, a bunch of them. And then some static screenshots, a Discord thing. Is this a link to their Discord? It's not. I wonder if they could have done that and just didn't. Or if images can't be links on Steam. But yeah, I think we need more of that in our Steam page. That doesn't mean your GIF needs to be that size. Yeah, but it lets me know what size I should try to optimize for. Because any bigger, and that means that people are just going to get it. They're going to need extra bandwidth to download that. Yeah, I don't have anything there right now. Okay, so then that's we gotta spend a decent amount of time. Try this out, and then I think the dimensions are 616 by height, where the height is whatever you want, but something between 105, 100 to what is it, like 350 is probably best. And what should we show? Here's where we could show boss battles, farming, etc. Basically anything that didn't seem trailer worthy, but that's still maybe worth talking about. Yeah, I'm going to spend pretty much all day tomorrow just working on this stuff. All right, so we've got some pretty good info here. Again, this is indicative of how today is going to be going, where it's just a lot of random tasks. Like, yeah, figure out how we're going to get GIFs on the page. All right, next, need to look into Kevin's Discord message about perf testing, then write some notes about it. I also need to look through PRs. Yeah, there's a PR thing here. Just a GIF, the slime's chilling. Could be GIFs of the slimes. Maybe critically eating. All right, I gotta get this cat off of me. This is uncomfortable. Abby, I'm sorry. I know you want to sleep. I know. I know. All right. I'm gonna move slightly. You can see as I move backward, she's just on my arm, which is why this is so uncomfortable for me. She's very soft, and if I were just watching a video or something, this would be totally fine. But okay, cat. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm gonna slowly tip you over now. Yeah. Goodbye, Abby. Unsub and move, cat. I'm sorry, Dr. Cuddly. Oh man. My arm is very warm now. Oh, go please. All right, so need to look into Kevin's Discord message about perf testing. So Kevin figured out a very, very critical thing, which is just that I need to end the perf test session with like Control C or something like that. Let me read this message again. Yeah, I want to take a look at this. It'd be very interesting. Hey, tactics. Calicozy. The O part is optional if you want to give it a name. .NET Trace, speed scope, etc. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we started working on perf testing stuff and then couldn't figure out what went wrong. And Kevin thankfully looked into it and found out what went wrong. And here it is. Yeah, I didn't ever actually profile C# code. These notes are incomplete. All right, so let's delete all this. So install .NET Trace, .NET Collect. So I think this is pretty similar to what Kevin had here. .NET Trace Collect, just a different format. And then -O, and then --path game. Yeah, so that's all the same. So the only difference is the format and the -O if we want it. And then feeding it into speed scope versus into Chrome. Drag and drop the profile. Click here to load an example. Open source, reporting the issues on GitHub. Is this hosted through GitHub as well, I wonder? Well, this has a lot of issues apparently. I think that probably Chrome should do a good enough job at this. Although I guess I don't really care what I use. You can use Chromium and then load it in this. I can use Chromium and just load it into Chrome though. Like I don't even need an extra thing, right? There's a Chrome extension for the Firefox profiler. Huh. Okay, well, how about this? Let's just go launch the game and see if we can get a stack. So I'm going to copy this. And after dash format, we're going to pass in -O /profile dot. I don't know what it's called. I think it's a net trace thing. I don't even know where I put this stuff. In my temp folder? Where was I doing this? Oh, I was probably doing it in the Skeleseller folder. Tree. This is going to show way too much. Net trace. No, I think I deleted it. I don't think there's a flame graph. There should be. Although is tracing where this stuff is done? Well, let me look into this. How about this? Let's start by getting our thing here. So we're gonna do just this. And then I'm gonna start this and we're just gonna quit the app immediately. And it should have outputted a file that doesn't have stack traces. Yeah, so it's a .NET trace. So that's what I wanted to see. So now we can do -O and call this something like Skeleseller.net trace. Okay, so now delete that. Godot 2025 net trace. It also produced a JSON file. So maybe we should make a new folder for this. Make dir profiling. And then output it to there. Profiling / that. Just said trace completed immediately. What? Did I accidentally press enter? Oh, maybe I did. All right, so we're just running the game, blah, 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 stuff's happening. Then we come back here and we just press enter. And it should be done now. So now we shouldn't have anything in this folder, but we should have something in this folder. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Create a folder to keep all of the, well, there aren't all of the files, it's really just 2. Keep all of the, I'll just say I suggest creating a folder to store the output of .NET trace. Make dir profiling. And then we put -O profiling / Skeleseller.net trace. Cool. All right, so now we have the output file. Now let's try loading this in Chrome. So we go over to here and we go find that file. Profiling, and there we go. So now we should have, nice, we do. Nice. I see we wanted that to ignore. I was thinking of just deleting it because I don't think we'll even need to save these things. But yeah, you typically would. Wow. Wow. Neat. Skip tutorial takes 1.8% of the time. I wonder if you can choose when to start the profiling. Can we just reject all of the stuff that's for the first 2 seconds? Oh, yeah, we can just click that. What was the key to get the function names? The key to getting the function names is this right here. If you don't press enter or control C from this, then it doesn't stop the trace correctly. And I should definitely write that down. Okay, so then do whatever you want to do in your game. When finished, press enter or control C in your terminal where you started .NET Trace. If you don't do this, you won't have method information. So it won't be very helpful at all. If you exit through the game itself rather than through the terminal. That's a facepalm moment. Don't you tell me what facepalm moments are. This is incredibly difficult to understand. There should have been some information about this online. Although technically I guess there was in the form of this. Data that's captured called rundown that includes, among other things, jaded symbols, hunches that you didn't get any of those by closing the program with Control Z. Possible. Yeah. So we'll just put a reference link there. So I'll put a chromium.json file if you want. You can do format speed scope instead. Then load it with speed scope. In Chrome, press F12, go to performance, click that, choose that. Only problem is this. Seems like you have to use Rider. Not free for commercial use. Yep. Okay, yeah, that was it. That's pretty much all we have to do. So now, how usable is this? Or should we use speed scope? I guess let's try one with speed scope as well. So format is dash, where is it? Speed scope, capital S. Speed scope. Hey, Godzilla. Good morning. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We're just moving the camera around, blah, blah, blah. Then we close this. And now we have a speed scope one that we could drag into here. So we go into profiling, take our speed scope, drag it, and we get this. How do you, oh, that's how. Except for I can't tell what's selected right now. Whoops, I just saved an image. At some point, run game shouldn't even, I see. I think I'll just use the Chrome one, I guess. Yeah, I'll probably just use the Chrome one. Until we find out that there's a problem or that there's something I can't do. It's not how yours looks. Maybe Dark Reader. Yeah, it's probably Dark Reader messing that up. Where'd the tab go? Here. Do I need to refresh? Yeah. Oh, and then it makes it clear that you're doing this. Yeah, it's probably pretty similar regardless of what tool I'm using then, whether it's Chrome or this. They both seem to do pretty much the same thing. Insights. Experimental feature. Your feedback will help us improve on it. How do you use this? And is this not how I load this profile anyway? How do you use this? It feels like there'd be some AI thing saying, hey, here are the functions you should look at. But there's nothing here. Okay, I'm kind of curious. Ready for the biggest Washington tax hike? What's happening? I have my head in the sand, so you'll have to tell me what the tax hike is. Chrome performance. What was I searching for? Insights. How do you use this? New experiment in Chrome's dev tools that aims to address developer pain points when working with the existing performance panel. Streamlines data, supports use case driven analysis, does not require deep expertise in browser working. Okay, this is probably for browser performance profiling, which is, I mean, what Chrome is supposed to be used for. I just happen to be loading a different kind of thing here. Why a new panel? Record a measure page. Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, this is when you click the record button up here. So if I'm on a website like, let's say Steam. Actually, let's not say Steam, just in case there are any credentials I don't want to leak. And I click this button and then hit the stop. Yeah, Insights does have something here. So is there a way to hide this? There isn't. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, then this seems totally usable. Okay, great. All right, so let's go try something meaningful. I don't want to spend too long on this because I'm not actually trying to performance test right now. But I want to spend a tiny bit of time on this. I'll just delete these files for now. What should we do? Maybe we click grant most things and then we start some battles. Here and here. Whoops. And then while that's going on, let's unlock a bunch of skills. And then just put random points in this stuff. There. All right, now turn on auto battle. All right, I'm just gonna let this run for a little bit. Again, I'm not really testing anything. I kind of want to just see what's gonna happen in the resulting trace file. I'll let it finish another battle or two. Yeah, okay, that's pretty good. Let's stop this now. Okay, so now we load that up. Let me close out of all the other things I have open. Good. Okay, so performance load this. And let's take from there to there. What am I doing? What am I doing? What happened to the... Oh, there it is. Woo. All right, how do we look at this? Tween font size? It's taking up a bunch of time. Party member on click. I mean, we weren't really interacting with a whole lot here. And this is what, one thread out of all of them? Or is this everything? Because I clicked something over here. Hey, Casey. First DLC. Very boring name for DLC. Oh, we only have the one thread, I guess. Walk animation system. Update entity. Yeah, interesting indeed. This is going to come in handy when I finally actually look at this stuff. Process abilities is what's taking so long. Get haste multiplier. It's taking 2.4% of the time. Probably because of, yeah, because of get component. Oh, God. I thought this might happen. This is what I was worried about with the entity component system. So we do this all over the place. Get component holder. Yeah. the way this works is every single time we need to read a component, we have to get it from the entity, and there's no saving this directly. If we just had a constant time way of looking this up, we'd probably save a bunch of time in the code. But that would rely on entity being a specific type and not just a node. So that we can store this somewhere and then just look it up by saving or looking at this thing. Looks like gas tax hike, business gross proceeds tax hike, and a property tax hike. Wow. Well, I guess we'll see what impact that has. Although generally increasing the price of gas increases the price of everything. What's this doing in here? Create floating text is taking some time. Yeah, I think this is what's a little bit spooky. A Campbell soup. Well, I don't want to look at this stuff too much because, like I said, this isn't really the focus right now, and we don't have a major problem. Process abilities, though. And even this was mostly for... Oh, interesting. This doesn't tell you more than that, I guess. An update entity. Tween font size. This is for the exclamation marks. Why would this take so long? Gas for less than $3 a gallon. Wow. So this is good to look at every now and then to make sure nothing's going crazy. Hey, Zev. Yeah. Yeah, I generally think so. I wanted to make sure that we could do this without needing to pay for software, and now, thankfully, we can. Yeah. Anyway, this is taking a ludicrous amount of time. I think just fixing this up at some point would probably be good. Get component holder. All right, so at some point, run some... What is this tool called? .NET Trace. .NET Trace sessions and figure out what we can improve. I think the big one is going to be this ecs.getComponentHolder. It has to do an O of N process involving Godot every time. But if we make all of our entities have a dedicated holder for it, then we could do it in constant time. What am I building? Hey, Blue Jack. I'm making a game called Skeleseller. These can be called many times and it sums them up, right? Yeah, it should. But still, this is something where it's like everything we do in the game requires us to get the components, and the components are something we need to fetch through an O of N process, which, yeah, there might be multiple O of N processes here. And it's something we ideally could do in constant time, so we probably just should. Replicate the same code without inheritance. Yeah, I was thinking the other thing we could maybe do... Well, I'll need to think about it. But now's not the time, I think, to even do this. I just wanted to look into this for now. But yeah, this was super helpful. So yeah, thank you for looking into this, Kevin. And I think this is one of the rare times I should give Kevin a point. Kevin doesn't get points because he's working on Skeleseller. But this is above and beyond. And yeah, this helped out a lot. Can you add warnings inside a list? You can, but it's not tabbed in. So it looks kind of weird. Or maybe you can tab this in. Wait, sorry, hang on. No, you can't do that. It'll only render if you do that. And I can't just tab in this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm messing this up greatly. Oh god. It's like treating the spaces as tabs. I don't know how to stop that. All right, whatever. It doesn't matter. We'll just stick with that, I guess. Okay, sure. Yeah, that was super good to know. I wonder if I just turn this into a command that'll do this stuff for me. Yeah, we could go to this folder. Yeah, sure. Edit Z shell. I'll make a new function here. Profile Skeleseller. All right, CD into what? This? Does it know that this is the path to Skeleseller? Do I have this anywhere else in here? Oh, I do. Okay. Just finished my auth module with OAuth and JWT. I'm so stoked. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. Did you write your own auth, or are you incorporating with some known thing? Yeah, this stuff should all be fine. All right, and I'll write a thing here. Date convenience function to profile Skeleseller. Sure. Sure. I'm going to forget that even exists. Also, we should probably test it, right? Yeah. All right, let's close that now. And then this should have put it in the right thing. Profiling today at 9:33. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, cool. You can use /out instead. Yeah, I guess it's already in our git ignore. Yeah, I'm not super concerned either way. Claude helped a lot, but at least I'm learning. Yeah, I think if the goal is to learn, probably taking a stab without AI is a good starting point. I think we have enough equivalence in other aspects of learning where we can probably tell what the effect is. Like with math, if you were to, I don't know, like we've been able to do math stuff pretty easily with programs for a while. I don't know if we've ever seen what happens if you gave kids calculators and never even taught them addition. But anyway, with programming, I think it's going to take a little bit longer to see what the effects are of people who are learning largely through AI. But I think it's probably pretty predictable. All right, so use new graphics. I want to use some of these things now because I think it'll be fast to do, but I don't want to do all of this stuff. What branch are we on? Main, yeah. Okay, so he has the new map graphic. Let me get that. Actually, let's just file an issue on that. Do I already have this somewhere? Map changes. Show you can upgrade this, get rid of this, play a long sound you got unlocked. Okay, that's not it. Anything else? No. Did I fix this? I think I might have fixed this. No, I didn't fix that. Okay, yeah, let's open a new issue. Hey, CloudTech Ninja. All right, so use fixed up map graphic, and then let's get the graphic. How do I save you there? Oh, wait, I could probably just put this in the game now. What am I even doing? This isn't even a task, is it? Yeah, I think I can just save this and put it in. Let me see what size it is in the game right now. Assets, battle map. Should be like map background. Yeah, there it is. Get info. 2048 by 1536. I think that's the same as this. No. Wait, that's not why. It's because of this. Open a new tab. Wait, no, that's not going to work. Let's just save this. Whatever. We'll just find out on disk. Save, sure, whatever. Go over to here. Get info. Yeah, it's the same size. Okay, so I think we can just drop this in. Is there an easy way to diff these two things without putting it on GitHub? It's probably some like online image diffing tool. But I think all that got removed were some trees. Image diff. Compare images to find their difference. Yes, this is what I want. Whoa, what? I saw a price there and I was like, does this cost money? All right, so there's the old one and there's the new one. All right, so now we drag this and we should see some trees appear. I see no difference. Maybe I downloaded this twice then. I probably did. Wait, let's go back to, let's refresh the thing. All right, let's put this on the right. We know that's the good one. The bad one then would be in the Skeleseller folder. Now, yep, okay, there we go. So now you see some trees appear or disappear. Yeah, so then we can just drop this in. I don't need to file a thing for this. Use a tool to speed up or make easier something you already know how to do, not something you can't do. Zev, I think what Managbind is talking about is for learning. Because I was going to say, there's a lot that computers would do that we can't do at that speed, for example. Like you can find prime numbers as a human, but you probably wouldn't want to find like a million of them. All right, so we just drop in the new one. I think we should be good to go. Let's just delete this. And then delete this. And then rename this one. And then put it over here. And just like that, it should be fixed. So here are some of the problems that there were before. Where are the problems? Yeah, like this. See this tree here? So this tree should be gone when I refresh this. So let's just take a picture of that. And there were a bunch of these little things. But let's try that out. Yeah, nice. It's gone. So we shouldn't see any weird looking trees. So let's just look through really fast. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nope. Nope. No. No. And no. Yeah. Okay. Everything looks good. Cool. Hey, Matt. All right. Well, that was easy because I didn't do the work. Remove errant trees in map background. Quickie Joe did this. Did this have an issue? If I search for tree, whoops, that's not what I meant to search for. If I search for tree, what shows up? Nothing. No, yeah, nothing. Okay, that's fine. All right, let's check that in. Okay, so that one's done. Next up, I use those graphics, so I think that one's fine. What else do we have here? These two. Give me a sec. Did we put the new thumbs up in? Hang on. I have to do this off screen. There's potentially private stuff here, but then I can show this on screen. Quickie Joe did one of the most adorable graphics here. Let me download this. There's the main character tucked in the bed. I just love this. I don't know if we're gonna use it exactly. I kind of just wanted the eyes to be closed, but this is great. So let's save that and let's save this one. How do I get this one? Here it is. All right, here's just the character sleeping, but here's them sleeping tucked in the bed. Oh, it's so great. All right, and then we should have a thumbs up somewhere. Also, I noticed that for some reason the colors in these two files got lightened, and I don't know why. Here are the color corrected versions. Okay, let's download this too then. So I want to compare this to the graphics that we have as well. We can use that image diff tool for that. So there's one of these, and then here's the other one, which I'm not sure that we even use this. Got lightened. Yeah, I wonder how that did happen. And then there should be a thumbs up somewhere. Where is that? Oh, we also got the new spirit collar. Hang on, I cannot find the thumbs up. Strange. As image. Did I use it already? I don't even know what happened here. Huh. I Yeah, I don't have the new thumbs up thing. Maybe I'm hallucinating. Maybe I thought Quickie Joe had sent it, but he didn't. Oh no, there it is. Okay, I found it. Never mind. Oh yeah, I'm not hallucinating. Here's the new one, or is this the old one? Is this different from this? I can't tell. I need to zoom in. I still can't tell. Okay, I'm not sure. Let's download this. Thumbs up one. Sure. Open this in GIMP. Or did I already include the new one? Can we put these in the same spot? Yeah, these are the same graphic. So we need to find if I ever modified that. Hey, Mars. Thumbs up. No, this was 4 days ago. What in the... Okay, I'm so confused. Give me a sec. Thumbs up. April 8th. Okay, yeah. So there is not a new thumbs up graphic yet. Spicy cooking. We got to download that. Done. And then we got to modify art requests. Okay. Yeah, that's already written down. And these two, let me see what this is. Oh, I might as well show off the spirit collar while I'm doing this, because I did not show you all what this looks like. So here's the new character class we're going to add in the game. Let me save this. Spirit caster. I think the name is spirit caller, but same basic idea. But yeah, here are the graphics that we'll have. I like it. Is this the new thumbs up? Is that one from May 8th? Yeah, I think this is the old one. Oh, no, wait, this does look new. Hold on, how did I... Okay, I'm confused. Sorry, I'm very, very bad at this. Yeah, this is different. This is definitely different. I don't know how I missed this. Right, so this compared to this. Yes. They're definitely different. Thank you, Kevin. I don't know where. How did I miss this? Sorry, now I'm looking into this just for my own sake. Not that. Oh, I see. Yeah, the images are really, really tiny in Discord, so it's hard to see. Here's what it looks like. There's nothing private here. But you can see our reaction is this big, like 62 by 36. And then this is even smaller than a reaction because that's the size of the images we have in Skeleseller. We just scale them up. But yeah, this will look a lot better. Okay, let's close out of all this stuff now. So in the same date as earlier. Yeah, I got the wrong one. All right, so now we can just use these graphics. Let's go apply them. So thumbs up, this should just be an easy replacement. Games, assets. Oh, by the way, I think I missed some chat messages. Let me see. When GCC compiles, becomes so lazy with Visual Studio and its build process at the same time. I hate how it can be random. Do I make an array to store my form data to post using Axios, or what should I do? I think in general, I would look through their documentation and see what they recommend because they probably cover this sort of thing. No, actually, I don't even know what Axios is. Let me look this up. Promise-based HTTP client for Node. Yeah, I would assume they give you the post variables as a dictionary, in which case you can store them whatever's most usable for you. Okay. All right, let's get to it. So the thumbs up is in icons. And it's called thumbsup.png. So we need this to have the same name. So let's delete the other ones. And then move this over here, and it should ask if we want to replace it. Yes, good. Okay. So that's going to fix that. Now let's look at that in the context of the game. Because originally this looked a little bit funky. Like if you have a tight thumbs up, it looks like this, right? That's a normal thumbs up. But if you extend your fingers a little bit, it looks like you're holding something, and that's kind of like what it looked like in the game. And now let's take a look. So it's the next scene after this. I'm going to take a picture. I think it's better. I think maybe the thumb should be higher up. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it's good. I think at a glance it communicates a thumbs up. Okay. Let's do this. Get rid of that. Cool. All right, so thumbs up is done. What's next? So we can delete this. Next up is spicy cooking. This looks amazing, by the way. Look at that. So great. Compared to the emoji, if you really wanted to. Yeah, and I think as long as it's communicating the right thing, I think we're good. All right, so spicy cooking. What do we call it in the game right now? I think it's pimento something. Icon, pimento. Yeah, there it is. So we're just going to delete this. And we're going to replace it with spicy cooking. Where is it? Here, spicy cooking. So pimento is gone. In comes spicy cooking. Let's call it the same thing. What is it called? Spicy dash cooking. Sounds reasonable. And we put this here. And then instead of the pimento, which we got to delete that before I forget, we're going to put this here. Okay, got to go find that pimento graphic. You are out of here. Okay, let's go try this. Oh, wait, no, that's going to break because I need to go into fishing perks and get rid of the modulate. Yeah, whoops. I quit out of that. There we go. Delete this and then delete that. Resource file not found. Spicy cooking. Did I put it in the wrong spot? Oh, I never put it anywhere. Whoops. Problem solved. Okay, so now when we unlock the fishing pond, we'll have a nice looking graphic for this. Look at that. It's grayed out because we don't have enough money, but if we give ourselves enough money, then go over to here. Yeah, nice. I like it. Use any game icons fit in the final product? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we have custom stuff for everything. Goo in a fridge. I knew that. Okay, these I want to compare because I want to see exactly how they changed. Quickie Joe said they got lightened, and I mean, I believe him, but I want to see how I noticed or didn't notice. I probably did not notice. So where is this? Intro, human character idle battle. Yeah, so we're going to put this on the left and this on the right. Oh, that's not right. Those aren't the same graphic. Hang on a second. What is this? What is that? Oh, it's got the swinging attack, which I did not end up using. So I think we're only comparing half of this with this. I guess we can just look at them in GIMP. I see the lighter color now. It's obvious with the blue at least. Is it obvious with all the colors? Yeah, it is. All right, if you want to see them side by side, I can just take one of these and you can compare this to this. And now the color differences are really obvious. Everything just got lighter somehow. Slime's very good. Hey, can you send me that Slime's very good file? Thanks. You gotten to play around with your new synth much? You just got it when I last heard about it? Yeah, oh man. Yesterday, okay, so here's what I did. I have my Yamaha piano and I plugged in the MIDI out of that into the synth. And I was playing with the piano sounds and the synth sounds coming out of a speaker. And it was awesome. It was so much fun. Like, there's just some, I don't know, it was really cool. I did not think it was going to be that interesting either. But I think it, it unlocked something in my brain, which is that a long time ago when I was messing around with synths, I wanted to be able to kind of like tinker on the piano and play something. But a lot of synth sounds have a very slow attack, or they're not intended to be played as like a flute or a piano or something like that. So they're meant to be ambiance, let's say. And if you only are playing ambiance, then it's not going to sound great. But if you have a piano sound and then by holding the note, you also get a pad sound out of it or something, it's like, oh man, it was so cool. Did I record it? No. We had a friend over yesterday, and while my wife and him were talking, I was just sitting in the same room playing piano and synth, and it was a lot of fun. You think you've unlocked even a fraction of what you can do with it yet? So the issue, and I guess this is kind of what happens with synths in general, is some people just tend to use what's already there, and some people actually like make sounds. I've messed around a little bit with this, but I kind of think of this as pretty similar to shaders, and that you probably stumble on a lot of cool effects by accident, and then you don't necessarily know what you want to do with it yet. So like, let's say you come up with a cool, like a water shader, but you're not making a game that has water in it. You might be like, okay, let's use this in a menu or something, I guess. Like, you might not have a need for it. I think it's the same thing with synths. You make a cool sound where you're like, oh, this could be cool in a particular track, but I'm not making that track yet. So I guess I just like save the sound and hope I remember it later. Or like remember the technique that accomplished that. So yeah, it's been fun just kind of playing around with it. And then last week, I think it was Wednesday, I did a video, or I did a stream where I was messing around with the synth. So this wasn't super interesting. I came up with some chords that day that I want to use for the battle track in Skeleseller, but I haven't really fleshed this out much more either. So yeah, we gotta look at that. Sound design is part of the songwriting process. Kind of admire people who are able to use presets. I mean, I admire the people who know enough to be able to make the sounds themselves, and then it sounds more unique too, and probably more fitting, assuming you're good at sound design. And that's part of the reason I bought this synth, is because I just thought, man, I don't know what goes into this. I don't know how to do it. And now I'm learning a lot, and I think it's awesome. I want to be a big sandwich. Not even eat a big sandwich. You want to be the sandwich. Okay, so let's put in these new graphics. We might need to change something here because I have a 1-row graphic here, and this new one is a 2-row graphic. It should mean that the coordinates are exactly the same, but still, let's see. So I want to name it this. No, not dying, changing. That's a different one. That's death and revive. Yeah, and those got lightened as well. I guess let's load those both up. Oh, that's the same one. Oh, nice. Yeah, this looks a lot better. God, I can tell immediately. The green is so much more saturated there, whereas over here it is much lighter. Yeah, in fact, everything's lighter. Wow, cool. I'm glad Quickie Joe noticed this. I would have never even realized. I want to take a look at the intro with that. Which synth did I get? I got a Mini Freak. And I'm very happy with it. I only ideally wanted to buy one synth. So, and I wanted to use that to just learn how it all works so that now I could buy software stuff in the future. But part of me does wonder, like, what would go into performing with something like this? I'm probably not going to get into that. I don't do music performances. Okay, so copy this over here and then give it the right name. Good. And then same thing with this. And give it the right name. Whoops. Okay, now hopefully that doesn't break anything. We'll need to test that out. I guess we just need to get to the battle scene for that to be tested. Is there anything else in the intro, though, that we need to change? I think the only remaining thing is the character sleeping. So let's go plug that in. You want to do music performances on stream? Well, they're not even really performances, right? Like the last time I remember doing any sort of performance was years ago when I was trying to learn the Metner Sonata. And that's not a very good performance because I don't practice enough. All right, so here's where we're going to swap this character out. This will only kind of sort of work. We need to add in a sleeping animation. Sleeping. And then we're going to add in the new frame. Oh, we don't even have the new frame. It's one of these two. I don't know which one's going to look better. Let's try... I don't know what I want to do yet. Okay, let's try a couple of things. Let's just plug this into here for now. And then try using one of those, sleeping. So here they are sleeping facing left already. If we turn off the main character, we can see. That on its own is already probably fine. I think I like that. Although obviously people don't sleep on top of their beds like that. They tuck themselves in. So the tucked in graphic would be here. Oh man, that looks really good. We could have them be tucked in and then have them appear. No, I guess just have them jump out of bed after that. All right, what do people vote for? Tucked in. That's this. Or not tucked in. Remember, the next thing they're going to do is jump out of bed. So either they're going from being tucked in to jumping out of bed, or they're not tucked in to jumping out of bed. Hey, Zor. Go from tucked in to out of bed. This graphics is so great that I would definitely like to use it. Okay, let's try that then. So here's their tucked in graphic. And we should be able to do this right in the animation player for now, just to test it. Oh, we don't have an animation player. Hey, Iron Crusader. Okay, then we need to go change it in here. So let's add the... Where is it? Sleeping. Yeah. Those are thanks for subbing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, intro. Tucked in. 16 by 20. All right, so there's their sleeping animation, which is not really an animation, which is fine. Now we get rid of this stuff and turn this back on and then go into the script for this. And they're going to start in the main character.play animation sleeping. Stand facing direction is not a thing anymore. Okay, so they're just going to wake up and get to it. Well, thank you, Zor. I'm glad you appreciate it. You know, I watched the Conan O'Brien Mark Twain Award. What am I typing here? Twain Award. Iron Crusader, thank you too. Wow, that was a very quick first time chat to sub. I was watching this. I love watching comedians receive the Mark Twain Award because it's all their closest friends who are typically also celebrities giving really heartfelt speeches and funny jokes and everything. And a lot of people said that Conan was like a massive influence on their lives. And then I was watching, there's a sketch comedy group called Whitest Kids You Know, and they used to be popular like, I don't know, 15 years ago or something. And one of the main people in the group died a couple of years ago or something like that. And he was pretty young. So these videos are still being pushed on YouTube and people are like, wow, this person was super influential on my life or my comedy style. I think that's super cool. So yeah, seeing messages like this, it's really nice. Because I'm just trying to do what I'm doing over here and it's nice to have any sort of influence on anybody. I'd still be doing this probably even if it didn't have that effect. All right, this should just work. So let's go delete these two things. And then let's delete this. And then run the game. Okay, so all we're going to look at first is just in the intro cutscene, does the character look pretty believable going from being tucked in to jumping out of bed? No, okay. they jumped while they were tucked in. That is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. Start jump tween. There, that should fix that. Have you ever been so excited you jumped out of bed while still wrapped in the blankets? That's how you know you really want to be on your first adventure here. All right, return the title. Yeah, all right, I think it looks pretty good. Now let's look at the other changes. So the character now has the proper thumbs up that we saw. Their colors are going to be darker in battle and when they die. So yeah, these are more vibrant colors here. And then they're going to die over here. And it should look pretty crisp there too. Yeah, nice. What they look forward to feeling. Yeah. They jump with the whole bed attached to them. Yeah, this looks better. Pretty good. Pretty good. Cool. All right, was that all the graphics? I think it might have been. Yeah, we used that. We used this. These things are already done. This is done. This is done. This is done. The only thing I don't use is this graphic, and I think I already put it into the unused section. Unused. What's it called? Skeleton with sword. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's already being used, so we can get rid of this stuff too. Oh, the shelving thing. Did I write that down? Shelving. Wonder if we should do that before next fest. Yeah, nice. And yes, I think we should. Milestone. What is relationships? Add parent. Oh, cool. All right, so this is all done. And now we just need to modify the art request. This should be something I can show. Yeah, on stream. Yeah. Okay, tree removal. This has all been done. Spicy cooking has been provided. Spirit caller. 4 spirits. What? I don't remember that. Summon spirit. Summon a damaged spirit. Oh, yeah, wow, there are 4. Huh. Why did we do that? Wait a second. 4 main characters, 4 spirits. That means that if your witch doctor is also in the party, they only get 1 of them. But I guess the spirits will probably die. Okay. Sure. All right, so that's been modified. We can go check this in. I'll probably take a break. Yeah, no, wait. This should probably just be renamed. Skeleton sleeping. Yeah, so I'll call this, what have we been calling it? Like human character tucked in, something like that. Main character tucked in. Let's do that. Main character tucked in. I guess they're human at that point, so I guess we'll do human main character. Yeah, that's good. And maybe a dash. There. Perfect. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, nice. Just spring out of bed. All right, any other problems here? Nope, looks good. Cool. All right, so use new graphics. Got a tucked in graphic for the wake up scene. Got darker graphics for various intro scenes. Got a better looking thumbs up. What else? What else? What else? Got the spicy cooking icon. And I think that's it. The battle map was separate, right? Yeah. All right, so commit all that stuff. All right, we are making good progress. I want to do something that I'm gonna probably call hyper triage, which might not turn into that, where we go through the 43 pages of this thing and try to get it down to like 5. Been making a prototype for a Ninja RPG auto battler. That sounds interesting. Is it a PvE or a PvP game? Not what I would have picked. Please no goop. Not the goop. PvE for now. I think the nice thing about auto battlers is I think they're much easier than other kinds of multiplayer games to prevent cheating for. Because given that it's an auto battler, the synchronizing between clients is generally not super important. So it's like you have some input phase and then synchronizing that's pretty easy. But that's assuming you want to eventually make it PvP. Anyway, it's cool to just work on a game. Yeah, I'm going to take a quick break and then we'll get back into these things. So, is it jump time? It's jump time. If you haven't seen this before, just type join in Twitch chat and then start typing J and some numbers and figure out how this works. I'll be back in a little bit. Hello again. Close the game. Okay, Kevin's PR. Let's go take a look at that. I guess there are 2 PRs. So let's start with the earlier one. 939. Style these skills and stuff. Sync first. GHPR, check out 939, I think I just said. Yeah. I trust Kevin merge. Well, I got the go ahead from Leftist, and I trust Leftist, and Leftist trust Kevin. So yeah, I think it's safe. All right, let's read the PR. Change the styling of innate skills and perks buttons. What else is part of 470 here? Okay, desaturates innate skill icons and perk button icons with the goal of making it clear that these cannot be clicked. Change the label of max level perks to say max. Yep, sounds pretty good. Cool, cool, cool. Hey, Nate. It is I, the Muffin Man. Been a while. So long that I'd be surprised if you remember the Muffin Man bit. I don't even remember how the bit got started. I just remember you were supposed to send me a muffin at some point when you finished Botland. Been lurking here for a couple weeks and enjoy the progress on Skeleseller. Yeah, we talked about that years ago. But thanks for the resub. And yeah, it's nice to see people pop in again after a long time. How's everything going for you, Nate? Apparently you were last here in February, but before that you were last here 4 years before that. Okay, so we're just gonna run this. Oh wait, I might have needed to click this and didn't. Yeah, I couldn't click it fast enough. Cool. Okay, let's take a look. So these are desaturated a little bit, indicating you can't click them. And when you level up and you get some skills, they're fine until... Oh, it doesn't work that way with this. Okay, no, it's just perks. Okay, so let's get some perks then. So when you level something up... Yeah, it'll desaturate and say max now. Yeah, I like that. I think it's pretty good. Nice. Yeah, pretty good. I wonder how it would look if we applied it to these. But you can perform an action still, so I think it's probably fine. I was wondering who those potions were for. Yeah, Max and Min. Min is his best friend. Graduated college, got a job, purchased a house, making some progress. Wow, nice. Life is happening. Yeah, I was just saying this yesterday to our friend who's come to visit that when you when you look at other people's milestones, it always feels like time is flying by. Like this was in the context of a college degree, for example. Like if it's your college degree, then you feel the days or the weeks or the months passing by. But when you hear that someone else started college and then you hear that they're finishing college and then you think, wait, how much time passed between those two things? It's not measuring with your own milestones, so it's harder. Oh, this uses, oh, this does use a shader. Okay. And the shader we added is the saturation shader. Sounds fine. I wonder if we could have done this through, I guess it doesn't really matter if we could have done it through just the modulate because the shader itself is dead simple. Yeah. Okay, looks good. Added a shader here. This is now localized. Visible is not a max level. And update icon saturation. Sounds good. I guess we're not hiding the cost label because we're changing the label. But add points then needs to be hidden. Okay. Also looks good. Yep, looks good. Cool. This is get the ability level, which, where's that? Skill button base, ability level. This is get level of ability. Just still not getting the ability. Max level does. Ability data. Okay. I think that's fine. Yep. Okay, so the icon is now needed by the child to be able to set the shader property. Yes. But wait a sec. That's inside of... What is that? It's just a texture rectangle. Okay. I was going to say we could wrap it in something that knows how to change this, but I don't think that's necessary. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. All right. Let's check this in. Looks good to me. Thank you for doing this. And the other one was this. This changes how our scene tree works when transitioning between different scenes by ensuring we always have a root scene. Primary goal of this change is allowing us to move away from static and global state, like the save system, since those can now be handled by main and injected into town as needed. Another benefit is that the scene transition system is now self-contained. We don't need to instantiate one on each scene. For my limited testing, everything seems to work fine. I marked the PR as a work in progress, nonetheless, to get feedback in case I missed anything. Let me give her the town scene where the next town started adding listeners. Oh. Okay. This is 940. And now let's go test this out. Let's probably start from the beginning. So we'll go to the title screen, and then from there, we'll go to the tutorial. And I guess let's turn on the sound for this. Oh, that's weird. Why is it showing up there? I don't know why that showed up there, but it's probably fine. Actually, no, let's try that again. Let's reload this. Is it going to show up there again? It should have saved. No, weird. Huh. What was causing that issue? The... What's that called? Where does this go? Save settings dialog on the title screen shows at the upper left. What is happening? Yeah. First opening the game. Alright, well, I guess ignore that. Let's go to new game. Oh, this is already... Okay, hold on. There's a bunch that looked wrong there, but it's kind of hard to say. The fading didn't seem to happen. Did I even run this again? Yeah, so we don't fade this in, and now we're showing gray in the background, I think. Saved in the game file. Interesting. I don't think this faded in either. I'll write some notes down. Intro, wake up, doesn't seem to fade in anymore. I think this was the responsibility of scene transition. Intro wake up as a gray background instead of a black one. And after completing the intro, I don't think the main game fades in anymore. Well, this isn't a big problem. But what happens when we load from a save file? I can't totally tell. Well, why are these characters zipping around? Oh, because I upgraded everything because I was testing out the max stuff. They're moving super fast. Is this fading in? If it is, it's very fast. Maybe it's happening, but it's just fast. The same as when you... Oh, and debug it's shorter? Oh, interesting. Okay, let's just stop that. Right, so just return 1. I wrote while not forgetting that fades exist, and yet I can't see the 0.3 seconds or whatever. All right, so I guess click new game and then skip this. Yeah, that looks nice. Now what about load game? Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's not a problem then. So it's just these two things that I noticed. Anything else? No, I think it's fine. Yeah, I don't think we have any other fades, right? Yeah, that definitely just pops right back in. All right, yeah, I think it's looking good. The only two things I noticed that seem off are I haven't reviewed the code yet, though. And then this other problem is a problem that apparently was already an issue. So also, this will allow us to have a single audio system. Oh, that's nice too. Yeah, there are a lot of things that this will make nicer. And then we should probably take the time to merge that. All right, I'll write that down. Something I didn't note in the PR being this one. We should make a note of this so that we can get rid of the intro audio systems if we want. Then again, they have some custom code, I think. All right, so let's file this. Copy as markdown, base64 converter. This is what you have to do to get an image out of Google Docs. Yeah. Copy. The save settings dialog on the title screen shows at the upper left. This is when you first open the game. Okay, so hold on though. This seems to indicate that there's a bigger problem, right? We don't save it in here. Yeah, no, we don't. So that means that we save it in this dialog. Camera position. Oh, wait, I don't see the dialog position there either. Can we just move this? Drag dialog position. Oh. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So then we're not respecting this, I guess? This is saved in local settings.json as that. So perhaps we're just not respecting it. I don't know, but it's a bug, so let's just file this. Okay, next up, I was playing Terraria over the weekend because I wanted to play something, and I tried Octopath Traveler 2, and I'm like, this game is not any better than Octopath Traveler 1, and uninstalled before getting to like even the second character in the game. Um, so anyway, yeah, I was playing Terraria, and Terraria has a way of customizing the game scale on a floating point scale. We only allow for these three integers here, 1, 2, and 3. So I think we should just turn this into a slider, just like we do down here, and just have like sticky points on the integers. Yeah. Because Terraria has pixel art as well, and when you're at a weird scale, then yeah, it doubles pixels every once in a while. And it's like, oh, that's what it takes for you to be able to play the game. Then that's what it takes for you to be able to play the game. So I want to tackle that. Go back to main. Oh, except for that won't let us because of these changes that I have. Yeah, but none of these are important. All right. Good. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let's run this one time. Did it just crash? Seriously? I guess edit normally. Also, do I need to unpin this? And put this one in? Weird. It knows that I wanted to do this on next startup. It just crashed in closing, I guess. All right, so did that do anything? It did. It changed a couple of UIDs, I guess. Sure, whatever. Run UID tool. All right, push that. So, integer values. Let's go take a look. Game settings menu. Yeah, so these are individual buttons right now. What if we just deleted that and made it a slider? What is this called? Game scale 1x. Game settings menu. Game scale. Settings section. Setup scale controls. We get all of the buttons and then set the content scale factor underneath that. Okay, yeah, that should be easy enough to fix. Why can't I open Godot anymore? What's going on? Oh man, okay. I think it was just like super laggy for some reason. All right, so delete all of this stuff. That. Those. And then add in a slider here like we do for this. No, there. Yeah, that. All right, so put this in here. We're going to call this game scale slider. Now, why does this look so bad? Oh, because this entire section only had a width because of this. We can probably just change the grid container. Although maybe we can't. I want the second column to be as big as it needs to be. So maybe we just make this, oh, it's already set to fill. But the columns don't know how to fill this? Can this just be set to fill? Oh, yeah, easy. Okay. Okay, yeah. Now, this control won't exactly work because I want it to be that I guess 1x is on the lower end and probably 3x is on the upper end, and that you know where the sticky points are, which I guess would only be 2 in the middle there. So 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 3 would be easy enough to hit because they're at the beginning and end, but 2 would have to be exactly in the middle. So this thing would have to know when you get close to the middle to just snap it to the middle. And maybe that's easy to do, maybe it's not. But yeah, let's get this for now. So game scale slider. And then when we set up game scale controls, we're going to get the slider. How are sliders set up? Slider. Yeah, limit slider. So it's a slider. Yeah, there we go. Does it have anything like that already? Maybe. I'll have to look into that. But for now, I just want to get this thing working. And we'll figure it out. Game scale slider. And then get that. And then in setup scale controls, we're going to get this thing and listen to its, what is it, value change or something? What is this called? Why do I not see this easily? Size change, theme changed, value change. Yeah, it is value change. All right. Root window can be done here. Root window. The zoom is going to be the value that we had. It's not going to be an integer, though. Oh, drat. It was only ever saved as an integer. Ugh. Wait, was it? Or maybe it wasn't. I plus 1. Okay, I got to customize that. I think we delete all this stuff. And then value change hopefully provides a float. Value changed event handler. What is this? It's a double. Value. So it's going to say can't change from double to float. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, now we set up the scale in here. So min value is going to be 1. Max value is going to be 3. Step is going to be 0.1. That's probably good enough, right? And then start the value at 1, I guess. Need to make sure this gets set to 2 on a new launch. All right, let's go try it. Okay, so mine should be at 2 right now. It is not, because this thing doesn't know how to load the values. In fact, it should have failed, right? Load from save data. Game scale control state. This gets all of the buttons and then sets this stuff. We should just get the scale slider and set the value equal to that. That should work. I don't... Oh, I guess I see why it didn't crash because of this. We don't even need the game scale settings section to have a unique name then. I guess I should write that down. Clean up, get rid of this and its unique name. All right, how are we looking? Okay, so this is at 2. If I start moving this, which we can't. Is it disabled? Editable is off, yeah, because I copy pasted it from something that was disabled. Scale the whole game, including the UI up or down. Eventually, there should be UI specific setting. Whoa, whoa. Okay, this is problematic for a couple reasons. One, as soon as you change it, it rescales, so you can't easily you can't easily change this and edit this thing at the same time. We could make it not a slider if we're gonna do that. In fact, having it be a typable number is probably fine. They probably even have a thing for that. What's it called? A stepper? There's another name for it. I don't know what it's called. Just a number picker, I guess. Does that even exist in here? Oh, we could check out in theme editor. Yeah, if we click new theme here, what is this called? What is this thing? I don't know. Okay, fine. Godot number picker. Are you kidding me? Something with range, I think. Yeah, let's just search for that. Number. Oh my God, it's got to be under control somewhere. Text edit, code edit. Maybe it's a text edit that's set to just pick numbers. Is there anything else in here that makes sense? Line edit. It might be a line edit. I do see range. Oh, here it is. Spin box. That's what it's called. Spin box is a numerical input text field. I searched for spinner, I think. If I just searched for spin, I would have found it. Yeah, I think a spin box is probably reasonable for this. So let's call this game scale edit. And delete that and delete this. And then make this unique, make this fill the thing. Actually, doesn't really need to fill the thing. I guess this thing could fill it, or this could. Yeah, this doesn't need to be gigantic. All right, so game scale. What's the max value? Min value is that. Max value is that. Step. Step should be 0.1. That's probably pretty good. Custom arrow step. What's that? If not 0, range.value will always be rounded to a multiple of custom arrow step. Maybe 0.01. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so this is now a spin box. What do I call this? So it's not game scale slider, it's game scale edit. And this shouldn't be needed already, right? Yeah, it's not. And there should still be value changed and whatever else. This is a spin box. Spin box edit. Did anything else change here? No, that's pretty much it. All right, let's try that. So now the controls are still going to move on you when you're clicking it, but now it hopefully won't bother you. And we don't need to do any of the stickiness stuff. You really, unfortunately, you can't see these arrows. So we need to theme those. Is this doing anything? I don't think so. I think we need to set it to 3. So 2.5 doesn't do anything here, or at least not different from 2. Then that means we must be converting this to an integer at some point. How does this work? Yeah, min size equals new vector 2i, minimum width and height. That part should be fine. Is this an integer? No, it's a float. What am I doing wrong here? May need to hit enter. I was hitting enter, I think. Is it saving it as a floating point? Let's hit save and then see. I don't even know where that goes. Content scale. Okay, it's not there. That means it must be over here. Content scale factor got saved as 2. We might be persisting this as an integer. In which case our settings... Where is that? There should be a save file here somewhere. Set content scale factor, root window content scale factor, local save data, content scale factor. No, it's a float. What is turning this into an int then? Let's put a breakpoint here. And change this to 2.6 or 2.51 or something. Doesn't even let me change it to that. Okay, well, that worked. All right, so now what's going on here? Scale factor is set to 2.51. Then we set the minimum size, except for this is always set to 1000 by whatever. In fact, we don't even need to do that multiple times. And then save after setting was false. Because we're only going to save when we click this button. So I put a breakpoint there and then click this. That did nothing. Wait, is that just a bug then? Why is that set to false? Something should save this. I guess we serialize it all here. So that's what should be doing it. So we go back into settings, click this button, get rid of the breakpoint there, eventually hit save. Yeah, okay. So this is invoked. This is still invoked from value changed. No, something's very wrong here. What is happening? Huh. It's not ever persisting this. But it is calling the thing that's trying to set the content scale factor immediately. And I don't see why this would be problematic unless we have it set to integer scaling, which we probably do. Yeah, I realize that we do have it set to that. Can we just search for integer? No. Can we search for stretch? Yeah, scale mode integer. We set this to fractional. And now it should work. I wonder if that's why it wasn't getting saved properly. Yeah, nice. Now you can actually see the change. So if we save at 2.29, does it actually work? No, it still doesn't. Why? I think we... No, we must have saved this before. That means that something must have set this to true. But that would have been this code's responsibility. Oh, it was true. Oh, well, my bad. Whoops. Yeah, whoops. Okay. So that should fix everything now. Let's try that out. And then let's make sure this is as usable as it can be. Let's close out of the old one that we have here. All right, so as I click this button, it works. We got to write down to change the arrow, change arrow color. And I guess let's take a picture of that too. You can't even see these. So we change it to 2.11. We hit save. We go into local settings. Yeah, it's set to 2.1. Okay, so it got reverted. That's because I have the step set to a different number than I have the whatever the other thing's called is. Whoops. All right, so this should be 0.1. This should be 0.01. So you can type in a number that is more granular than the number you'll get through the arrow keys. And I don't think anyone's going to ever want to do that. But they probably won't be typing in numbers like that anyway. Yeehaw, look at that. Yeah, this is very difficult to use. Oh, it's very difficult. The only way to make this more usable, I think, would be to not have this jump all over the place as you're clicking it. But I want it to be obvious what you're changing when you do this. Hey, Goose, how you doing? But yeah, this is a nice change. So now if you feel like this fits your monitor best, then do something like this. And yeah, it'll double up pixels every once in a while. Roll our own of the minus and plus set of buttons on either side of the input. I guess we kind of already have that in the form of the skill buttons, right? But I think that's still going to be problematic because as you click this, it's going to bump downward or upward. What we could do, I don't know how much I want to put effort into this. What we could do is make this like pop out and it just takes up the whole screen no matter what. I think it's probably fine like this because the people who customize this are only ever going to change this once, I think. And then once they've changed it, I think they should hopefully be fine with that setting. And yeah, they can just type things in here. So if I were to save this, quit, and go back, whoops, and go back into the game without having local settings, I do want to save my local settings that I have now. So let's close out of everything here. Oh, that didn't work. Wait, what? What's going on? Oh, I'm pressing the wrong key. Whoops. All right, so here are my local settings. We're going to delete them now. And then relaunch the game, and it should put me at the right scale setting. I think the only way to fix that would be to force the mouse X or Y on the button each click. No idea how easy that could be. Actually, that's true. Maybe we could change that. Settings. So it did get set to 2. Nice. We'd have to move the mouse after moving the window. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's close. Oh, that's even a bug there. Oh, that's maybe not a bug. I don't know. Quit. Go back into our settings. Get our saved ones so that I don't have music on or whatever else. And now the other change we need to make. So the other thing that we had here. Why can't I go to Godot anymore? There. God. Okay, there's that. So that one's fixed. Done. Change the arrow color. That might be something we can do through the theme. Where is the theme? Here it is. All right, can you change this on there? So we need to add in a spin box. And then tweak the arrow colors. How do you do this? It should be a theme override on this, right? Colors, there it is. Up, hover, icon, modulate, up, icon, modulate. Okay, so if I just check this and then, oh, nice. That's exactly what I want. And then same thing for down. Actually, maybe for all of these. Just make them all black. I mean, technically, these are all reddish colored. So we'd probably make them all the same reddish color. But yeah, it's all of these settings. So let's get rid of all of that. and then tweak them over here. How do we do this? Why is this so difficult? There's some way to use this and I can't figure out how. Oh, is it because I took the wrong thing? Oh yeah. That's why. I need to click this. I made a custom type called spin box. How do we delete this now? There. Spin, where'd it go? Oh, does it only let you have one of those? All right, well, whatever. We figured it out. So there's a way to change just the modulate. Here it is. All right, so just click a plus on all of these. And then set them all to, what does this one do? This needs to be black, doesn't it? Are they all 88? No, they're 95. Okay, so then we should do the same thing here. We should make this like 5. All of these should be, and then we want it to be 7 away from that, so 12. I don't think that's going to communicate anything, but whatever. 5, 12, 5, 12, 5. I typed the wrong number there. Okay, how's that look? Also, hi. Hi, Toulouse. Do you think it should be a slider? So when it's a slider, the problem is that since the game scale changes as you're sliding it, then it starts looking really weird. This break because it's still trying to find this. I wonder why. Game scale settings or game scale container. No, it's this. Oh, it says GE on that. Oh God, I didn't mean to check that in. Where are you, GE? There you are. Game scale edit. Yeah, I accidentally pressed some keys on my keyboard. All right, so now the setting should be readable. Set this to 2, yeah. Yeah. I don't think these arrows are all that usable to begin with. The other thing that'd be nice is having the arrow keys on my keyboard control this. I think we should do that. Although, why is that not a default in Godot? Why would people not want that? Can we have it? Is there a setting for that? No, I don't think so. Godot spin box arrow keys. I know I can just code this myself. I just want to see, is it already something that they've done? No. What's this? It says value of the range for the spin box when it's changed instead of submitted. I don't think that matters. Okay, yeah, let's just go code this then. This is game settings menu. We want a listener on that. Oh, this would technically be unhandled input, right? Or I need to make a custom control and do this. GUI input. So what are the keys called? Vibe coding. I don't mind coding it myself. Input map, UI right and UI left, UI up and down. Didn't we add something in for the camera controls? I guess we call those UI camera up and everything. Yeah. Oh, I accidentally deleted one of those. Oh God. A reload. Don't save. It's very easy to delete that. Did it change it? It did. Oh no, it changed that. That's fine. Okay, cool. So if you press UI up, then I wanted to treat it like you actually pressed up on this thing. So set the value. I guess we're going to add a number plus equal the step. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, the other change was valid. Yeah. Okay, so how's this looking now? No one's probably ever going to realize I did this. And it doesn't even work. Why doesn't that work? Is it getting input events? It's not. Also, if I save it with A's, it gets deleted. It got a mouse event. It doesn't get key events. Maybe listen to plus and minus. Well, other number spinners allow you to use up and down. Like I think Windows, that's a default. May already be consumed as text navigation. Let's just look this up, I guess. Godot, spin box, listen for arrow keys. Arrow keys don't change value. Most likely some other control node is consuming your mouse input. Click the arrow. That's the arrow icon's not working. Not consider key inputs as handled while it did. I mean, how do they do this? They use unhandled input. I guess I could use unhandled input in here too and see if this thing has the focus. Currently, line and text edits just ignore key events if they're not pressed. Seems pretty simple to just handle the release event as well. But I wonder if they weren't handled for a reason. Okay, how about this? Let's print out, are we getting any of these events? Print input event dot as text. And then get rid of my breakpoint over here and just see what's going on. So I need this to be UI action menu item 1 doesn't exist. Did you mean UI action menu item 2? What? Where is it even coming from? Okay, so it's erroring whenever I type something. I don't know why it's doing that. It's not even breaking into this thing. It's just failing at this point. Must have been the one you deleted. But oh, that's what you were saying. Oh, my bad. Yes, you're right. I misunderstood what you were saying earlier. Yeah. And now it's very clear to me what you were communicating. All right, how are we doing now? I don't want a breakpoint there anymore. Just want to know, do we get any of these input events? 5 or whatever. No, we don't. You only get mouse input events here. What about enter? You don't even get enter, just mouse events. So you can't get key events on this thing? Is there something set so that that's not possible? There's some like keyboard input somewhere. Where's that? Input? Focus? Mode none? Maybe we have to allow it to have the focus, although I don't know how that would already be the case. What if I set this to all? I have a feeling this won't change anything. No, it doesn't change anything. Huh. Strange. Yeah, I don't see anything else. Also, I like the select all on focus. I think that's nice. So we could do this in unhandled input, but why can't a spin box's GUI input actually work? Spin box GUI input. Or like handle keys. What? Why is nobody talking about this? They eat the key events? Yeah, I wonder if we'd even get this in unhandled input. Do we already have an unhandled input here? Unhandled. Yes, we do. Okay. So let's just do this. If you press up and this is visible in tree, and if the spin thing has the focus, game scale, edit, focus, then print up pressed. Sure. Let's try that. Did it work? Nope. So it must be absorbing even that. Huh. I wonder how, I don't, it's probably not worth doing. Input event key. Godot, text edit, override, key handling. Input. Can we intercept a key press before it goes to this? There's handle the Unicode input you can override? Seriously? Handle Unicode input? For real? All right, let's go try that then. GUI input. So this will be Unicode input. No, that doesn't exist. Huh. I guess a spin box. Oh, it's range that this gets it from. What has handle Unicode input then? Probably a text edit, and this thing actually isn't a text edit. Godot handle Unicode input. I'm trying to find the official thing here. Maybe this will have it. Handle Unicode input. Text edit. There it is. Yeah, all right. So this doesn't exist here because this doesn't inherit from this. This inherits from range, and range is a control. So something should allow me to use what control uses. That means that one of these things must override GUI input, right? No, it can't override GUI input, but it must be doing something with input. Does it? It's so confusing. What other events are there that I'm forgetting about? Range has changed and value changed. There's GUI input. That's pretty much it. And yeah, GUI input didn't give me the things that I expected. And we're overriding it. We're not even calling it the base function. What does that mean though? It means that this isn't getting key events? Maybe there's some property we need so that it knows it can get them. Then how did text edit do this? Do we have any text edits? No. That's okay. I can just type it. I just want to go to the documentation for it. So what do they do here? Input. They define this. That part's fine. They have any other input things? No, but they call this when in here invokes a method with a given name used in given arguments. So this is just a dispatch function to get into this. Yeah. And it's not like they'll ever call this specifically, right? Maybe get line edit get GUI input. Oh, it has a line edit. I didn't realize that. Yeah. Nice. That might work. All right. So game scale edit. Yeah, this line edit. GUI input. Well, that would be really easy. Hey, look at that. All right, now unfortunately I used is action pressed. I want the other version of this. Is pressed, I guess. Turns true if it's pressed, not relevant due to ghosting, returns false, blah blah blah. Let's just try that, see what happens. No, wait, that's not how you do this. No overload takes. Wait, how do you check if how do you check if this is held down then? We do it in the camera. So whatever we do there. Is action pressed? Mouse event. Should be a key event here somewhere. Maybe in our camera input handler. It's is action pressed. Oh, it's is action pressed versus is action just pressed. Oh, so maybe this only gets this once. Right? If I hold this, it doesn't do anything. No, wait, now it's not even... Am I using the wrong window? Probably am. Huh. It's getting this twice. So I hold it, and it makes it go up once, and then it moves the cursor to the left. That's strange. Is it getting multiple events? Let's try this. So I'm just going to hold up. Yes, it is getting multiple events. Then what in the world is causing this to not work? All right, let's print this out. Because it's possible, I don't know why, that it would have cached a value or something here. You need to prevent default. Oh, yeah, I need to mark this as handled, right? Although I don't know if that's all that it would take to do this. Interesting. Yeah, it only says up press on the first time. I wonder if it's not considered a key event. Yeah, no, it can't be considered a key event. So we need to know what type it is. Get type. Wow, I didn't know. Okay, then we need to mark this as handled. How do we do that? Let's just search for another GUI input because it's different. It's like accept event, I think. In fact, I think that's what it's called. Yeah. All right, this will tell us what the type is. And it must not be an event key. It might be like a key held or something like that. And then that's what we need to check. Or just not check at all and just see, is the key pressed? It is an input event key every time. What? Then why doesn't... Oh, and is not an echo event. Unless allow echo is true. Okay, I didn't realize allow echo is a thing. So stupid. That's really ridiculous. All right. Well, that's an example of good documentation. Unfortunately, bad documentation sometimes trains you not to read those things. Yeah, now it's working. All right, that is much more usable. I like that. I do wonder if we should speed that up a bit. Does it matter if you don't call accept event? So the not calling accept event or calling it is what's changing the cursor position, I guess. Let's try that out. So it's basically not allowing it to do what pressing up on a text input would do, which is move the cursor to the beginning. But yeah, let's try it. In this particular case, it doesn't really matter either way. Oh no, it's not doing it. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, until we hit the uppermost value, then I think it changes the behavior. Oh, line edit. Oh, I see. I don't think... What do you even call this on? You call it on control. I don't think it should matter. Although, hang on, let me see if that thing I even said was correct. Yeah, it is. Okay, interesting. So that's the reason why you accept the event, is to make it not do something when you're in this state, which is otherwise pointless. And then, yeah, doing this on the line edit instead, I don't think should have any effect. I don't see an effect. 5. So we can't set it to a number outside of the range. Try setting it to 0, it sets it to 1, 1.5. Yeah, this works, except that pressing enter makes it no longer have the focus, so you can't type anymore. So then maybe we should have this change as soon as you've typed the value. Where's that? Update on text change. Yeah, there. So now I can set it to 1.2. Maybe that's frustrating. Oh, I can't even set it to 2. Oh god, yeah, this is bad. Okay, never mind. I'm taking that back. Don't like that one at all. Add a tooltip that informs about the min and max. I think it'll be clear as you're typing in that there's a min and max. Because what I've seen is that most people don't read any of the tooltips. Maybe in settings they might. But here I think they would realize that like, oh, I can't set a number like 5. I also think there's no reason to set it to something like 5. There could potentially be a reason to zoom out, although I don't think content scale even works that way. And yeah, 1 is hopefully not a problem for people. 1 is using like native graphic size, right? If I take a picture of this, this should be now 16 pixels tall, or 20 pixels tall, I mean. Yeah, it's 18 points. And points are not pixels. But that's because I'm on a high res or a high DPI monitor. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this. Let's delete these things. And then let's write a note inside of Godot UI about a spin box. What is this header that this is in? Nothing in particular. Okay, good. So, yeah, so let's say spin box. So this is Godot's number picker. If you want to add keyboard handlers, you just need to make sure to call get line edit. I'll just paste in the code that I have here. Although we can make this a little bit easier, I guess, by doing this. If it's this, then in here, we'll put an if statement. And here we'll put our else that we have. Yeah, it doesn't work. Delete that, put this in here. Delete that. Get this in there. Cool. All right, I think that's a little bit cleaner. How's that look? Input event is a key event. Actually, we just say if it's not a key event, just return. And then move this up here. Okay, sure. Now I'll put that in my notes. Spin box. CS? C sharp? I don't remember what you have to type for that. Apparently CS worked. We had type C sharp. Oh, wait, no. No, they're the same. What do I do in my other code? I don't actually know what I type for that. I type CS. Okay. Oh, whoops. These need to change. Yeah. Cool. Curious if you consider making a constants file for the action names, UI up. No, I haven't really thought about it. I don't think we do that anywhere. No. I'm pretty ambivalent about it. I don't think it really matters too much either way. Other people also briefly and suddenly lose muscle memory for some keyboard shortcuts they used like 12 seconds ago. Yeah, every once in a while that happens. Okay, I'm pretty happy with these changes. We've done this. We've done this. We pretty much finished that. So change game scale to allow for floating point values. We might want to change the tooltip to mention that the game will look best at integer values if you can allow it. Here. What should I say here? I don't know how we want to write this, but I'll write a stupid way, and then maybe we can find a better way of writing this. For the game to look the best, try to stick to integer values. 1, 2, or 3. The best appearance. Try to stick to integer value. I think this is kind of dumb. Especially because the only way this advice would even matter is if you had it set to something very close, like 1.1 or 1.9 or 2.1 or 2.9. Basically, those values, yeah, sure. Then you should pick 1 or you should pick 2 or 3. But if you're at like 2.5, you don't want to pick 2 or you don't want to pick 3. You chose 2.5 for a reason. So that advice is kind of pointless. I think I'm just going to delete this. And I think people will just realize that it doesn't look as good. And hopefully not blame us. But I think this is a very understated change to begin with. There are a lot of people who wanted something in between for these values and they just couldn't do it. And now I think this should accommodate basically everybody. So if you want a slightly more zoomed in thing, then great, do that. If you want it slightly zoomed out. Would I ever have played like this? I guess it depends on how big the menus are. It's not bad. I think I do prefer 2x though. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. So we customize the colors there, changes the fractional. This is all good. What is that? Button group can now be gone? I guess because they were radio buttons, so we needed that. But then did I change the parent name? I don't think I did. What is that called? Game scale settings. This isn't needed, is it? No. I can just put this here. And then delete this. It's not aligned now. Because this is at the shrink center. There. That cleans it up, right? Still looks good. We don't even need it to be this large, though. Why is this taking up so much space? Can we set how many digits show? I don't see it. What does page do? Allow greater, allow lesser. What? If true value may be greater than max value? Why would you ever do this? Why wouldn't you just... Oh, I guess because you have to set max to something? Or wouldn't you just set it to infinity in that case? Oh, yeah, I don't know how to change the size of this, but I also don't really care. I think it's fine if it takes a little bit more space than it needs to take up. I think the important thing is that you can customize this and not just have it be integers. Yeah, nice. I think it's looking pretty good. All right. Allow for fractional scaling values. I was playing Terraria over the weekend and realized that they have fractional scaling values. And sure, it can double some lines in pixel art, but for people who want a value like 1.5x or 2.5x, I think they'll be okay with that. Will this break if I manually set the value in the save file? And do we care? I don't think we care about that, but also I don't think it'll break. If we set this to 5, I think it'll just get set to 3 in the UI. Yeah, this is the same as 3 right now. Yep, in fact, it got set to 3. So the only thing this might let you do is something like 2.005, which even then I'm not positive it's going to let you do that. And I certainly don't care even if it does. But I am curious. No, it gets rounded. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's validated no matter what you said in here. Oh wait, this fixes an issue that we had. Didn't we talk about this? Scale. Add a UI scale setting. I don't know if we're going to do this. Yeah, I kind of want to just say that this is done. Let's check this in for now. And then sync that. And then get the commit hash. And then write a note about it here. I committed this, which allows for fractional game scale values. I'm going to close this issue even though we haven't explicitly addressed it, just to see if we still get feedback from people wanting it. Yeah. Mind checking the comment I posted here? Save settings dialog. Issue here is the settings menu doesn't use dialog or has its own dialog instead. I see two options. Pass the dialog for the menu to use. Prevent dragging the confirmation dialog in this menu. Either's fine. Whatever's easier, I think is best. Since the title screen should only ever have that one dialogue. All right, Kevin mentioned that the main character has sprite bleeding. We may need to trim it. Was it bleeding on Windows or also on Mac in the intro? I mean, fixing it either way should be easy, because we just make this thing inherit from texture, crop, animated sprite, although this is not an animated sprite. So never mind, that's not how we do that. Let's do that correctly. We put this here. Only tried on Windows, gotcha. Texture, crop, animated sprite. Okay, so let's go test that. That should be a very easy change that'll hopefully fix this. We could maybe get it to repro by changing the size of the window while the game is running. I don't see it happening now because it should be impossible. But if I undo the change I just did, so we take this and I just stash this for now, then we should be able to see a problem. It's going to be probably pretty subtle, so I won't probably easily be able to point it out. Well, let's take a look. No, I don't see it happening at all. It might just be a Windows thing. Which means it might also be on the enemy graphic, right? We need that there too. You don't need a screenshot. I don't mind adding this script. I think this is a good thing to do. But yeah, we just need to make sure we've done it everywhere. So I guess also in the battle scene, we're going to put this on the enemy. Enemy sprite. Put this there. Anything else? What else has an animated sprite in the intro? Oh, I just realized a Guildmaster never blinks. Oh well. I'm not going to do that. All right, how do we find this? We got to go to here, and then here, and then here, and then switch into that directory and search for animated sprite 2D. Okay, so it is on the enemy. It's on the Guildmaster, but the Guildmaster, well, let's take a look at that. Intro, accept quest. What is the Guildmaster? You are a texture crop animated sprite. Okay, so you're already fine. Then the potion vendor in the shop. Potion vendor, you are an animated sprite that does not have texture crop on you. Texture crop. Done. And then the final one is the main character, which we already covered, right? Yeah. Okay, so then everything should be fine. We should have just fixed any sprite bleeding that exists. Yeah, I'll test the intro. It should look exactly the same on this computer, but possibly on Windows it will look better now. So just see if anything looks out of place. Yeah, I think everything's looking good. Now, if we really, really want to polish that, we could have them walk away while holding their sword still or their dagger. But I don't think that matters right now. Yeah, I think everything looks fine. Okay. Fix sprite bleeding in the intro. Kevin reported this on Windows. I added the texture crop script, even though I didn't see this happening on Mac OS. Okay. That might have, who knows why. It doesn't really matter. All right, figure out how to fade everything as though it's one texture. I don't want to do this now. So let's just add this to the list. Okay, so now we are down to a blank to-do list, although not really. So we did the intro. I would say that is now done. Music, I don't actually think is super important. I've started working on it. We made some progress, but we've already got 3 other town tracks in the game. So if I don't get a 4th in, it's okay. And if I don't do the battle music, I think that's okay too. I think the battle music would be kind of nice. Can you push? Oh yeah, sure. A trailer we're gonna do tomorrow. Hiding the empty plots of land on the map. Yeah, that would be nice to do. Yeah, I think I want to triage some of the other things on this list. Now, with that said, we already know there are some things that I wanted to tackle for Next Fest, and they are in the Next Fest prep milestone. So what needs to be done? Balance again. I mean, balance the game is as done as it's gonna be, right? You consider revamping the class or everything. Quests. I'm gonna just say this is done. I think this is done enough for the demo at this point. Bandage was successful. Nice. Okay, thanks for checking. All right, so that one's finished. What else do we have here? Press kit, map changes. What map changes still need to be done? Upgrade the portal by rendering something on the next location. Yeah, I think that would be nice to do. Man, I don't know. These sorts of things, it's not like exciting work to do. And it's hard to tell what's the most important thing at this point. Number of days until June 9th. Or whoops, I always mean to type work days. Number of work days. 19 business days. So I think that's longer than we need. Although there are other things we could tackle. And that's why I want to go through triaging this list to find out exactly what's the most important stuff. And one of the things we started to work on is getting trees to sway in the wind. Like, is it necessary? No, certainly not. Does it help? Maybe a little bit. Show a floating unlock location button next to it. I think something like that would be pretty nice. You can get rid of the dedicated area beneath the map, put start battle over the map. This is related to this issue. What is this? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, let's ignore that for now. What about this? I know that Kevin did a tiny bit of work for this with the... Yeah, this part. But what else is here? Make always unlocked skills look distinct from the upgrade. So I guess we've done this. Make it feel better to add a skill point. We should gray out the skills that you didn't put points into and then light up the button when you unlock it. Currently graying out skills that you can't get. I don't know if we should do that. Rami said the wording wasn't clear. What is this about? Probably because English isn't my native language. although I'd say I'm good at it, but I found the following very confusing. I have a skill point and the text says to spend 1 skill point to unlock the, oh, this is changed. This doesn't matter anymore. I'm just going to check that. Consider vertically consolidating the page. Remember something while I was playing, when I was on my adventures. No idea how to use skill points. Didn't realize I needed to scroll down to see the skills I could upgrade. And I missed the scroll bar. I think we consolidated this by virtue of randomly unlocking skills. Well, let's try on the smallest size window that you can use. So we'll just shrink. Oh, wait, that seems too small. I think that's the size when it's at 1x. So this is the minimum size you can get. And now when you level up, what happens? You can still see this. Yeah, you can still see everything. Oh, wait, we used to put stats above all of this stuff, I think, and not off to the side. I think that's why it didn't work. See, I don't think this is a problem anymore. So I think we can say that this is done now. It's fair to say that this has been finished. Yeah. All right, what else? Make a new trailer. That's what we're doing tomorrow. Whoops. Did that not copy? God. All right, make the new trailer. What else do we have? Make a press kit. I think we've already done this. See Ski's Discord message. I'll take a look at that off stream. What else do we have? Trailer, map changes, arrow graphics blurry. Consider pruning the demo. Oh, right. Right. Oh, this is quite the challenge. I think the demo might have too much content. And I thought of an idea the other day that's bad, but kind of interesting at least, which is what if we said you, from the time you start a new game, you get like 45 minutes. And just however far you get, that's how far you get. It might not be the end. It'll give you a taste of the game. And I think this is bad for many reasons. One is the final game doesn't have a timer. So it may make you feel rushed and then not want to buy the game. Two is that it's an idle game. So like you're probably just gonna lose a bunch of that time. And three is that you like, we need to balance the timer such that people feel satisfied. Anyway, I don't want to do this. This is not how do we get this idea to work. It was basically just how do we figure out the perfect length of the demo. So it is the perfect length of the demo. And I'd say 30 to 60 minutes. 30 minutes is probably the minimum for this kind of game. I think most people feel like they've learned the game after an hour. So something we could do is we could give you like 1, 2, 3, 4. We can give you like 5 locations in the demo. So the crypt is the final area. Try to limit how much you can level up adventures or block off some perks, or the max level for some perks. Yeah, all of that has to do with pruning the demo. Like, here's what I think would be bad. Let's say we set the max level to 3, and now you just can't do these areas. I think people would feel like they should be able to do those areas. So we should just also delete the areas you can't do at level 3. Yeah, I think we're putting a lot of eggs in this challenge mode basket. I think the real problem is that we haven't made the challenge modes, nor do we know that people would want them for extending gameplay. If they don't work or we don't even make them, then the only real difference between the demo and the main game would be the amount of content. And it'd be like plus X, like plus 4 bosses, plus 3 adventurers, plus, I don't know, 6 locations or something, or 8 locations. And what else? Plus some number of perks. Yeah. Oh, man. So I think we would prune some locations, some perks, some adventurers maybe. What else? Some buildings maybe? I'm not sure. All right, out of curiosity, does anyone talk about the stuff online? Steam demo ideal length. How long should a demo be? A demo should be like a drug dealer giving you the first hit for free to get you hooked. It should be long enough that the player develops a taste for the game, and not so long that the player is satisfied with just the demo experience. Should have no replayability. See, this I kind of wonder about. I think there was a Balatro demo, and I think that the Balatro creator said that some of that person's friends played for like 40 hours or something, and they're like, oh wow, I had no idea. For an example of a demo that's too long and has too much replayability, a lot of PC shooters in the early 2000s had demos that included fully functional multiplayer, with the only restriction being that you were limited to one map. What game specifically? What's a good median playtime for a demo benchmark? This is a video though, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not. Okay, let's take a read. Good demos are a critical component of your game marketing strategy. If you have a great demo, streamers will want to play it, sometimes repeatedly over months. Oh, Peglin. I think I played Peglin. Wow. Wow. Let me take a look at this though. Is this a game I played? I think. I don't remember. Yeah, I think I played this. Although I don't know how. Huh. Hey, Orange. Okay, well, let's continue reading this then. So how do you know if you have a good demo? The most important metric nobody monitors, medium playtime. So our medium playtime right now, and I've been paying very close attention to this, is 1 hour and 22 minutes. And it's actually slowly inched its way upward from like 1 hour 17 minutes, I think, which is kind of impressive to me, at least, given that we've had about 1,000 players and that it's rising over time. I love looking at medium playtime because it's actually measuring the time players are spending with your game. There's no hiding between splashy trailers, funny tweets, etc. You can't game the system. Based on my research, here's the median of the median playtime of demos for each tier of income. 65 minutes. So we are at 82 minutes. But apparently the longer the better, according to this. So our demo is actually in pretty good shape according to just that. Benchmark data you see above comes from 3 separate surveys I ran. I asked developers to share the median playtime number that's found in the Steamworks backend. Surveys were from Steam Next Fest, February 2022, blah, blah, blah. One general survey for anyone at some point, yeah. Didn't record playtime data for June 2022 because they added a gamified reward for players who tried demos. Some crafty Steam users created bots to play every single game in the fest, and it completely tanked each game's median playtime. In the end, I collected 130 separate games in their median playtime. Here's the full graph with combined data. So some people had like actually not some people, this is one person who had like a 2.5 hour long demo, but almost everyone had it at an hour and a half or less. Across all demos, here are the numbers. Average playtime is about 20 minutes. Bottom 30th percentile is 10 minutes. Median is 14. Top 70th percentile is 22 minutes. Games that have released. But does a high playtime mean that the game will do well? 62 of the games in my survey have been released. I estimated the revenue based on the number of reviews and then grouped each game into the 4 revenue tier buckets. Here's the graph of all released games, their earning tier, and what their median playtime is. Each bar is a separate game. Okay, so we've got, what, pink is the best? Yeah, pink is the best, and there are only, what, 5 games in there? And then gold is the next best, and again, there are 5 games. Gray is the next best, and then brown is the next best. Taco Bandit, thanks for the resub. Welcome back. All right, so what do we learn just by looking at the data? Of the 5 diamond tier demos, 3 had a really good amount of playtime. And all the demos that had more than, what is this? Like 30 minutes of median playtime, all of them did pretty well except for this one. Just looking at the graph, you can see the gold and diamond tiered games clustered at the top of the graph, then the bronze tiered game clustered at the end of the graph. If I look at each bucket and find the average and median, it breaks down like this. Okay. What about that diamond tier game on the right side of the graph? That's a weird one. The game is a co-op party style game. My hunch is that for demos, a lot of people just poke their nose in the game, see if it'll be fun. Actually, that's a pretty good hunch, because I think that's what I do too sometimes. Huh, interesting. What about linear games? One of the reasons some games have super high median play times is because they're sandbox or roguelike or procedurally generated games where you can replay them multiple times to get new results. So they're going to have inflated numbers. But isn't this data biased against linear story games? In general, Steam players like long games with lots of replayability. Here's a graph of all the linear games. What does it say? Demo median time played. Just copy the text from the table. What? Huh, interesting. There are only 3 that are higher than 50 minutes, and most are below 30 minutes. Here's a graph of all replayable games. Yeah, so now there are many more that are higher than 30 minutes. Top rating replayable games had almost 20-minute longer playtime. Users bucketed by playtime might look at that bump in the far right and think it means someone loves you. But in my survey, almost every game I'd surveyed 0% there. I think the occasional time I saw 1% was probably because someone left it running. All right, let me go take a look at this data again. All right, so I mentioned our median playtime is 1 hour and 22 minutes. That is correct. It is over 1,241 players. And can I click this? What does this do? All right, so here's our bucketed playtime. Yeah, I think we can probably ignore most of these because for one, the bars are very tiny. So I don't know what number that corresponds to. Oh wait, we can probably find out by hovering over it. Yeah. Okay, so this is 12, 12, 13, and so on and so forth. This one's also 12. Kind of funny that there's a clustering there, but I assume this is a set of people who played like every checkpoint and probably played, 2 hours each time. And then this one is 13. So all in all, that totals what, like 62 or something? And yeah, we probably mostly want to look at this range. Yeah, a lot of people are playing in even just this amount here. So if we were to trim the demo down, we'd be artificially deflating some of these numbers. I don't know. This is so tricky. Huh. Also interesting that we see this 1 hour, well above average compared to other Steam demos. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, well, what else does this article say? Want to get super specific? You can embed Google Analytics tracking or Unity tracking into your game. Allow you to filter for specific date ranges. Make major gameplay improvements. Yeah. How to fix a low median playtime? Well, fix your game. Figure out what people think about your game, or why people think about your game. Send a survey to your mailing list. Run a live playtest. Embed analytics. Interesting. Hey, wait a second. This guy's name is Chris. I saw some other website call him Charles. Is that actually a person? Charles Zukowski. I mean, yes. But are they in games at all? No. Yeah, their name is Chris. Okay. All right. Well, here's my little conclusion from this. Or I guess my conclusions in general. Conclusions: the higher the median playtime, the better. But at some point, it may hurt sales. And if we have some form of replayability in the game, that could help sales. All right, again, just thinking out loud here. Let's say people play the demo and they get the farm, the fishing pond, the enchanter, etc. And then they're like, "Oh, cool. What's difference? What's the difference between this and the main game?" And I'm like, "Well, you're just gonna get more content." They might be like, "Oh, then I've played enough of this." But then I also wonder, we probably will add more stuff over time. Is there anywhere I can play the demo? Yeah, right on Steam. The demo, I think I last updated, yeah, 4 days ago. Although I should push a new version at some point because we made some other kind of tiny changes. Maybe I should do that today. Push a new version of Skeleseller. God, I'm so torn. I'm so torn. Okay, well, there is another thing we could do here. We could just ignore this for next fest and then do something about it afterward. Yeah. Yeah, that's not a bad strategy, right? Oh man. I don't know. I think part of what makes the game fun is having all the choices that we have, right? What if we just sort of arbitrarily cut out a perk? It would seem like, oh, this doesn't synergize or this isn't as exciting. I mean, I guess we could cut out item stacking or something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm actually, the more I think about it, the more I think I'm leaning toward this. And afterward, maybe we don't even do anything still. Maybe we just keep trying to extend the full game. Has anyone played the Schedule 1 demo? Oh wow, they called it Schedule 1 free sample. That's pretty creative. Because the demo, well, I meant anyone here. The demo did very well. And I'm curious what's the difference between this and the main game. And I'm also curious about the length. How long is the demo? But yeah, I would need to actually try this out myself, I guess. Recent events and announcements. Has the game launched? Or is it in early access? It's in early access. Oh, interesting. Huh. Okay. Well, I guess I'll bundle some thoughts here. I generally trust Chris Zukowski on this stuff. But wait, no, that's not what I wanted to go to. Where is it? This, yeah. Let's read the rest of these Reddit comments too, I guess. Should be at least enough content for one YouTube video for the influencer or pure gameplay for the player closest to your target group to build hype. Yeah, all of this is still kind of pointing to my, let's just keep things the way they are. Wanting the same would showing my tutorial level in an RPG be sufficient. If the game has a linear progression story, no more than 20 minutes. All right, I'm going to write my thoughts in this thing here. I did some minor research into this. Chris Zukowski posted this article about demos. The general conclusion is that a higher median playtime, the higher median playtime you can get, the better. Skeleseller is at 82 minutes right now across, what was it? 1,241 players, which is apparently very healthy. The concern I have is that I don't want people to feel like they experienced the whole game just from the demo. However, that's not really a concern for Next Fest specifically because there is no full game to be purchased yet. Thus, I think my conclusion is that we should keep the demo as is for Next Fest and then consider pruning it afterward. Because if the game is for sale, it's very different to go from, okay, yeah, I like the demo, let's just go buy this, because you feel blocked at some point. Yeah. What else did I write down here? Oh, yeah. Also, after Next Fest. Thanks for the resub. Happy 22 months. Twitch idle game has a pretty linear progression curve. It's like real time. Yeah, the longer you stay, the higher you get your sub badge. And then once you get a higher sub badge, you can prestige in real life and become champion half. After Next Fest, we should have a better idea of what people are saying about the game and what we're going to do with replayability, i.e. challenge modes versus something else. Does it just not think this is a word? Okay, sure. Now, the other thing that I hadn't really considered is we can prune it a very minor amount. Like we can cut out these two areas, for example, and be like, oh yeah, you just ended the waterways. But I think let's just keep things the way they are for now. So I'm going to close this right now as not planned. But we should probably reconsider this after Next Fest. I'm going to write that down. New issue. Do we have a milestone for post Next Fest? Post festival work. Past due. Hang on a second. It's probably because I thought it was going to be in the work that I think is not important enough for the festivals is probably important after they're done. I mean, this is all just pre-launch stuff. Let's just delete this, right? Edit. Can we delete it? There's close, but I don't see delete. I guess close is functionally identical, huh? Oh, there it is. Delete. Okay. All right, so pre-launch. I guess let's put this in there. New issue. Consider pruning the demo. This is essentially a pre-launch version of this. With Next Fest done, do we want to cut down on the demo length? Yeah, again, C933 for my thoughts. Okay. All right, what else is here? Add shelves to the warehouse. This isn't super important, but I think it would look nicer. Found a Reddit post for schedule difference. You want to link? Yeah, sure. Thanks, Thomas. Yeah, I don't think this is super important. I think it just might make the game look a little bit more polished. That's all. All right, so for people who played or watched the full game, how small is the demo compared to the full game? 1/5 content-wise, playtime more like 1/10. The demo is roughly 16 minutes. That's how long it takes before you hit a barrier. Oh, this is really interesting. But now I'd say it's a third of the full game, but seeing as you're going to need to develop relationships, fight the gang. Can't wait. I think no one has. Game is releasing early access. Oh, this is before it even... This is before people even played the full game? Interesting. How do you call it? PR that refactors the code to the point that it's harder to read? A bad PR? Yeah, I think code readability is very important. All right, so how would we put this in the game if we wanted to put this in the game? Because we could just do this, but I'm not sure it's worth the effort right now, and I think I'd rather do triage stuff. So right now our warehouse is gigantic because it has to accommodate 64 item things in it. But even that's not really going to be needed in the future. So what we could do is we could come up with shelving units like this, or maybe even one unit bigger. So they'd each hold 8 items. And then there's item stacking in the game also. So that would allow, instead of 8 items, for you to hold up to 24 items. And then for you to have some number of those shelving units, maybe like 4. So you could hold 32 items times 3 for 96 items. Yeah, I'll write that down. Maybe try adding. Ooh, wait a second though. We should probably think about it in terms of upgrades. Right now, the first warehouse, or like the warehouse, starts at 4 item slots, and then every upgrade is +4. So if we wanted to match this exactly, we'd have shelving units that are 2x2. And while we could put a bunch of those down, I think extending them is interesting. But what would it be like if we started you with the ability to have 8 items at a time? I guess we could just make the warehouse cost more. Let me think about this. Yeah, so right now, the warehouse unlocks with 4 item displays and gets +4 per upgrade. I think we want the shelving to be 4x2, or maybe 3x2. Maybe we give you 6 at a time and you get a few of the shelving units. I kind of want this to just span the back of the wall though. It would extend. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, yeah. So I'm just gonna update that with just a dumb fact that nobody cares about. All right, cool. So yeah, these are still potentially worth doing. I kind of want to triage this list a bit. Maybe it's worth taking. Oh wow, it's already noon. I'm gonna say take a break because I thought it was 11, but somehow time flew by. Let's fill out the journal. I gotta figure out how to make this script faster. That actually wasn't too bad. Okay, so what do we do? I'll just say did a bunch of miscellaneous work and prep for next fest. Yeah, I think we're gonna do some of this hyper triage stuff. That'll be in the afternoon. God, what a day. You know, I've noticed that when I name my stream something like Skeleseller miscellanea, that fewer people drop in, and then the chat is really quiet. But if I'm working on something like a medium-sized project in Skeleseller, I think it's generally does better. Yeah, I want to at least prune this list down, have it on GitHub. I think we should do that. And then push a new version, whatever we do end up coding. Maybe anything that's going to take quicker than like 5 minutes. Didn't I write something down about this? Yeah, this. Reported that we should turn off confined mouse by default. It's really only useful in the context of edge panning. Is it off by default? Confine mouse to window. It is true by default. Yeah, we should probably turn this off. And I wonder if it should only matter in the context of full screen. Yeah, I guess that's something like a 5-minute change. .NET trace sessions. These are online workers that pick up items and jobs you don't have yet. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. let's tackle that in the afternoon. Afternoon hyper triage. Yeah, it's about time. And then I think what we'll plan for on Wednesday is just any work that can help the demo. Yeah. Maybe think about more marketing stuff. Okay, so I think I'm gonna call it for the morning stream. It's about noon my time. I'll probably take about an hour for lunch. And then when we get back, we'll do the hyper triage stuff. And we'll just see how that goes. I think it should be productive. In fact, you know what we should do? Count how many characters are in this document. Well, I mean, we could just do that right now. 77302. So let's say about 77,000, because the 300 doesn't really matter, and we're going to delete some of this stuff anyway. So thank you all for watching so far. If you have not already wishlisted the game, here is the Steam link. If you'd like to, you can actually just play the demo. I last uploaded it 4 days ago, so it's pretty new. The only real changes we made were really today anyway. So I'll push those hopefully today too, but they're not going to make a huge difference. Yeah, and I will hopefully see you all in the afternoon. If not, have a good day. Take care. Either way, see you.